Good morning, everybody, and hello, Gearheads. Welcome to Blind Mike Sunday. Is everybody ready for some Super Bowl football? Well, first, make sure you go to everybody's favorite website, blindmike.net, and check it out. There's something for everybody there. I'm wearing my BMP hat right now. And thanks, OJ, for everything from everybody. Well, we have a great show for everybody today, so I won't waste any more of everybody's time with my jibber jabber. Let's give a warm welcome to our host, everybody's favorite blind psychic, Blind Mike Geary.
Did you just call me a sidekick on my own show?
Psychic.
Oh, okay. All right.
Psychic.
Does she think she's the host now, or what's going on?
No, God damn it.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. The Whack Pack is here. Casey and
Good
Electra are with
morning.
us. Very exciting. What was I going to say?
Happy Super Bowl Sunday, Mike.
Hey, thanks. I
Who
appreciate
you? Hey, big news in the chat. Who you got? Are you a Eagles or a Chiefs guy? Who?
I don't really care. I guess I'm rooting for the Eagles because I don't feel like having to debate Patriots versus Chiefs, which will be silly because the league is actively working for the Chiefs where they worked against the Patriots, but this is not the time or place for that kind of debate, you know?
No, but bettors, you heard it. Blind Mike picks the Eagles. Put your bets in now. Everyone, go to Vegas.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to start the program today. I feel like I'm under the weather. Do I sound it?
Yeah, a little tiny bit.
I've sounded bad for like a week. I feel fine, but I'm
Okay.
congested.
Ooh,
Yeah,
very
it's a
upsetting.
little mucusy, but I think
Good.
it
I'm
adds
hoping
to
that gets right in your ear.
adds to the flavor. So yeah.
Yes, good.
The flavor
Well,
of the
yes,
program.
it's a Casey day. Craig is out doing God knows what.
My own sound thing hates me. God damn.
giving my I'm sure Craig is giving my banking information to any listeners that want it. So make sure you sign up for the Patreon, and you can do that by going to blindmike.net. Become a member for as little as $5 a month. Get early access and bonus content. We've got a Quincy live show coming up, hopefully soon. Craig is hard at work on that, I'm sure.
We can't wait to get our invitations to that, Blind Mike.
Well, of course you're invited. Once we know when the date is and everything. And patrons will get first crack at tickets. So if you want those, I'm sure there'll be plenty of leg room. But make sure you get on Patreon so you get a first crack at that as well. And I don't know. But, I was on WATP yesterday also. So go check that out. I was on the Unrelated show on the Kirk Minahan Network. So go check that out as well. I've been all over the place. And I'll be on ROTC this week, making my Revenge of the Sis debut. I don't know why. I don't know what they have planned for me, but Royce messaged me and asked me to come on. So we'll see. I don't know if they've got some elaborate scheme working against me. I don't know why this is the week I'm invited finally, but it's been a while. I like Royce. I used to do Daywave somewhat frequently for a little while, so I'll be excited to see those boys.
He's going to look a little different to you than the last time you saw him. If you haven't seen Royce in a while, he's sort of turned into the Hulk.
Oh, he's gotten jacked, right?
Yeah.
I know when I was doing Daywave, he was like deadlift, like making videos of him deadlifting or something.
Yes.
So.
Very scary man now, but he's very funny. Very funny guy.
Well, I'll try not to be intimidated by him, but yeah, keep an eye out for that as well. All right, let's get into. I know last week's show was only 2 hours, and would you believe people complained? So I swear to God, if I see any complaints, I'll wrap it up at 45 minutes this week. All right? So keep it tight, folks. I don't want to hear any. I want praising for how long I do the show, because it used to be an hour. So if we do 2 hours, you should be thanking me. But let's get into it, shall we?
We shall. Oh, no.
What are we talking about? What are we starting with? Stuttering John?
I think we're gonna. The Duke has returned, and so I think
let's get this out of the way. This might be why I'm in a surly mood this morning, because Stuttering John came back. I was all excited when I saw a live stream happening just titled Duke. I said, "Oh, goody, Johnny's back!" And boy, was it a weak performance by Stuttering John. First of all, he took 2 tries at it. He came back with Rob Saul, and when that didn't work, he had to do his own live stream. Let's start there. Let's start with Rob Saul, because Rob has been the focus of a lot of talk this week. We're not going to spend too much time on this topic, because I know it was a few days ago. People have covered it, including myself. I talked about it on WATP yesterday. So you guys can, I say watch it and critique. Was I better? My first reaction with WATP, did I reuse any of the same jokes? Take notes, folks, because we'll be getting into it. But let's start with Rob Saul, because there's been a lot of talk about this. People are speculating whether or not he's on pills. Quite frankly, I don't give a shit. And if Rob is addicted to pills and he's struggling with it, get help. I hope you find the help you need. Rob vehemently denied these claims, which drug addicts never do. But I also acknowledge that's a tough spot to be in. If you're like, oh, a drug addict would say he's not doing pills. It's like, well, then what's he supposed to say? I don't really give a shit. I think the people that are in Rob's chat demanding he answers them, like, if you're fucking around, have a blast. The people that are serious, they're like, he's lying about his addiction. Like, they're losers and should be paid no mind. But Rob loves paying attention to them. So we're going to spend a few minutes debating, is Rob Saul on pills any worse than Rob Saul off pills? We'll decide today. So this is him at the beginning of the show when he's introducing Stuttering John, right?
Yes, correct. Sober Rob, and thank you, Base Pill, for this clip.
Yes, yeah, thank you, sir. Oh, because this stream was deleted, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
as
I
it
think
should have been.
this would have been the good one. I would have said this is a great from the little I only saw this 11-minute clip that what was his name? Base Pill, you said?
Based Pill, yeah.
Based Pill. This gentleman posted. I only got to see that chunk of it. I didn't know John was on live with Rob. Based on this, there's so much more energy happening. I say, do all the oxys you want, baby. Let's let it fly, because John was so boring. But let's see what Rob had to say to start his program.
Grift from, which is like pretty much nothing. Excuse me. So we are going to be live tonight. We are live tonight. Yes, thank you. Nice blouse. That's right. It brings out my beautiful blue eyes. How dare you? And yes, that's right, Meow Mix, the real tapes. And I'd like to welcome with us tonight via audio tonight is the original Duke. And by the way, they have not, they're still not accepting me as the Duke. They said that you have to come on. And
Rob, you should really work for that title. It's a very serious thing. You don't sound fucking ridiculous begging that he actually knight you as the Duke.
Mm-hmm. He just wants them super chat. That's all that's going on here.
Rob, people are laughing at John. Do you want that title? Like, think about what you're doing. And Rob thinks that if John is like, yes, you are, in fact, the Duke, then people will pay Rob? Like, does he think it's a salaried position, being the Duke?
Yes. Well, the Duke comes with lands and title. Yes.
Right, yeah. Yeah, you might think the royal family doesn't mean much now. They're just mascots. But there is a lot that comes with that. Heavy lies the crown.
Knight me formally, so maybe you can do that tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Stuttering John Melendez. John, how are you?
Yeah, so he sounds lucid there, right? He sounds good.
Yeah, that's the normal Rob. Normal, annoying Rob. But yes, this clip is crazy.
So this is, and there's a lot more. It was just a lot of silence, so I didn't feel like playing all of it. But we talked about it on WATP yesterday, where it's like a 6-minute span of John yelling, Rob.
Was he
Rob,
just
are you
nodding
there?
out? Was he nodding out, falling asleep, or what?
Yes. This is the same episode. This is what, an hour later?
God.
Maybe 2?
I think it's like an hour and 20 minutes later.
I've never seen
game time.
I've gotten embarrassingly drunk on air before. I've never seen a shift like this. It does seem drastic. Again, when people are like, it's got to be heroin. It's like, relax. You know, sometimes people get shit-faced. Although Rob's saying, I only had 3 beers in this time is a little weird, because I've never seen this drastic a switch.
But they're 7% alcohol or something higher.
11.
Like,
they're 11.
11.
Don't sell them short. Well, that's a lot. 3 11% beers could do this to a man. And
Mike,
Percocets.
Yes, Mike, we have a nurse with us on set. Maybe we can get her professional opinion on what's going on here. No one's given like a professional opinion. Electra, pay attention.
I'll pay attention.
The clip has started. Just Mike, there's silence.
Rob. Wake up, Rob.
I would play the Deb tape, but the Deb tape is too much for me right now. Deb is a disgusting pig. Deb is a disgusting human being that looks like it's Pat from Saturday. I'm Pat from Saturday.
That's another good impression. This guy, he really is the Rich Little of his time. Such good impressions.
I love this impression. I don't know what it is, but I fucking love it.
And for those that don't know, there's a lady, Deb.
She's cool.
She was on Rob's show for a little while, and then she said that Rob fucks dogs. So Rob goes on this attack against her. He's really handled the dog fucking allegations just as well as he has the drug allegations. But I gotta say, it doesn't sound that much different to me. This kind of sounds like how Rob always is. Just a little slow, a couple steps slower.
Yeah, if you could see him, his eyes are blinking real slow. And
that's what happens after 3
he's
beers.
slurring more. He's got the slurs.
He's also very...
The man's had 3 beers. What don't you people understand?
11%. Also, he's very wet. It's Chewbacca-like. I've heard comments saying it's very Chewbacca-like.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's what Deb is. That's Deb, folks.
Nice. Okay.
Zoning out.
Who's Deb exactly?
Yeah. Honestly, this isn't that much different than Rob. Like he's a few steps slower, I'll grant you. But like, this is his level of humor where he's like, "Oh, I'm Deb. Ah, fuck me, I'm Deb." It's like, oh, that's very witty, Rob. How did you think of that?
We didn't really cut the clips, but there was just like full minutes going by where his eyes are just closed while the clips are playing Electra. He's just out. He's like, and then he wakes up and he's like, "Oh, hey John, what's going on?"
Well, it's the best because John is just. I don't know how. I think John would have sat there for eternity. Like if the clip never ended, if you could just put the clip on a loop and Rob slept there, I think John would have sat there for the rest of time yelling, "Rob, Rob, Rob, can you hear me? You okay, Rob? You awake?"
This whole Rob song, it is the diagnosis more than anything of how Stuttering John is just only insulated. Doesn't care about anyone else. He'll sit there with a dying person as long as he can tell his story.
What was great about this too is Rob was John was using Rob to be like, "Hey, I'm not back.
Yes.
I'm not. Hey, no. I'm on Rob Saul's show. Therefore, I'm not broadcasting on the internet."
Yeah.
Because this
it's
is
not on.
Yes, so I'm not in the Dabbleverse. I'm just talking about Dabbleverse people on a Dabbleverse show. But I'm not back because this isn't on my channel. But let's finish up with Rob here before we get there.
Still playing.
Play Deb tape, Rob. I need to know what happened. Deb is a fucking disgusting pig. I got to tell you.
Forgot he said it 40 seconds.
Deb. I'm Deb.
Nice. Nailed her. Does Deb, you seem to know who that is, Electra. I'm not too familiar.
I do.
With
Mm-hmm.
Does she? Is that her catchphrase?
No,
Is that her
not really at all.
Cut it
Not
out.
at all. No.
Okay.
It's his own take on it.
Oh, why is that so funny to me? I could put that on a loop.
Rob's like Michael Winslow. He's a master of noises, like that noise he makes at the end of our show, when Craig is on, anyways. Yeah, like he makes these great noises that add such comedic value to what he said.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for.
We have a library now.
Why are you dressed as a gay funeral director? Skull. That's hilarious.
What's happening?
So he's getting texts and, "Hey, you're too drunk. Get off the air." Those are.
It sounds like someone's got a scope on him. Like someone, they're zeroing in on Rob.
It does have a golden eye sound to it.
Oh my God! How we do it? Fuck you all.
Probably
You
Deb.
won't see me in Atlantic City. I'm not meeting with anybody in Atlantic City, and I told them all, I will not meet with anybody in Atlantic City, and I don't want anything to do with anybody in Atlantic City, and that's all I have to say about that.
So the next morning, and that sounds like a guy that had 3 beers. We've all been there. But again, like I said, we have all been there in the sense that we've gotten more fucked up than we wanted to and made a fool of ourselves. Like, I can empathize with that. The weird part is Rob went on the next morning to do a I wasn't high show. And boy, it really changed everyone's opinion. When Rob said over and over again, I wasn't high, it really made people believe him and stop saying that. He really quelled all the rumors. Like, once Rob said, hey, I had 3 beers and they were just heavy, everyone was like, oh, well, there you go. He managed to thwart all the trolls with his rational explanation. So that was heartwarming to watch. But I just wanted to pull this clip because this is Rob sober. This is him the next morning. He's sobered up. Oddly, not hungover from these massively heavy beers he consumed. But, you know, he seems bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. This is him talking about Deb again. And my question was, like, everyone's like, Rob was high. Sober people don't act like that. Listen to this clip. Is this that different from what we just heard, really?
And Deb, nobody even knows who you are. You're trying to get yourself known. And look what you're doing to get yourself known. You're talking about Rob SAUL. Do you see the irony, Deb?
He's more delusional sober. He's like, you're using the Rob SAUL name to get recognized. Yes, America, you know, I'm going to a Super Bowl party later, and I just hope it'll be so obnoxious if we have to spend the whole time talking about this Deb craze in America. It's like, can't we just get past... So let's talk about something less divisive like Trump, you know? Enough with the Deb talk. It polarizes families.
Yes, go watch Deb on Nice Podcast Stupid Thursday nights.
Sure. Yeah.
Talking about Rob SAUL. Do you see the irony, Deb? Look at you. I mean, you're disgusting.
Okay. So I was listening to the great OJ in the morning this morning, and Tukey came on with a bit of breaking news that Rob SAUL did, in fact, hang out with everyone there, and he's best friends with Deb now. That's no bullshit.
Nice. Really?
Yes. So that was
Deb
all
was
just
there.
bullshit.
It all is.
Yes.
That's what all these people get so fucking angry, and then they see each other and they're like, hey, they're so desperate for friendship. They don't care what you've said about them in the past.
No. Yes.
Is that true? Rob is friends. He was in Atlantic City and they're all friends now?
Tukey, it was not like a Tukey joke. It was like, no, they're friends now.
What's the Atlantic City guest list look like now? Chad didn't make it, right?
Chad did make it.
We did.
It was all like, so my guess is Kevin told them all to say they weren't coming so that, like, the trolls would give up, and then they all showed up anyway. And they all just did a show in Kevin's hotel room. And Chad was in a different hotel room, and they just did a show that way. It was all the people that were going from Kevin's side, but they just tried to outsmart the trolls by just having...
What did they do? Just stand
show
around?
in a room, yeah.
They did a show.
Yeah, they did a show in Kevin's hotel room. And it was very funny.
That is
they're all
interesting.
Sitting around Kevin's laptop, you know. But Kevin
but not for fans. They just did a show.
No. There were fans in the room. There were like 20 to 30 fans in the room, according to Rocco. But it was pre-screened Kevin people. Like, so basically, Kevin's afraid of the public. He doesn't like being in public where people can get at him. I
gotta be honest. I've heard people criticize him for that. I applaud him for having 20 of these maniacs in his room.
I know. Right?
I wouldn't do that. That's insane.
Yeah, it was,
I'm
the
nice
Teamster,
to people.
Teamster Tim's, all that crew of people. I don't know if Borgo was there, but Borgo dropped a $500 super chat.
You're losing me. I don't know what any of that means.
Okay, it doesn't matter anyway. But yeah, so they had the event. It went off in their rooms as planned. Chad kind of,
Yeah. Well, this is why I got a little, you may have noticed the last few weeks we haven't really talked Dabbleverse. I'm interested in Rob and John, but even this I was kind of reluctant to talk about because I was like, it's getting exhausting. A lot of this stuff.
Did people actually pay for that to go watch a show in Kevin's room?
Well, there was originally $20 tickets, but then Chad realized that he fucked that kind of up a little bit, and so I think it was just free. If you showed up, got a hotel room in Atlantic City, and Kevin liked you, you got in the room. Stevie was watching.
That's kind of a cool. That's a somewhat unique type of thing. So good for them for figuring something out, I guess.
I think we should take the model and do VIP parties for Blind Mike across the country. Just tour around hotel room show. Yes,
I appreciate the idea.
Hope someone farted on his pillow.
Nice.
A lot of farts in this pillow.
All right, let's finish this Rob clip.
That was the end of the Rob.
Oh, that was the okay, yeah. So my point is, it's not that much. It's a step or two quicker, but he's pretty much the same guy, you know.
Mm-hmm. It was just the sleeping during the call that was amazing to me.
So John goes on. I think we may have the clip, but he's like, Rob, he was a little tired. He was not on drugs. It's like, well, why are you being so bold as to say that? How the fuck do you know? But this was sad. It felt like John was contractually obligated to do one more episode. You know what I mean? Like the networks trotted him out. Like he did his big finale, and the network was like, you have to do a Christmas special now. Mm-hmm. And John was like, but we ended so perfectly. It would be a disgrace to the fans to do another episode.
Every musician has that one album left on the contract. They're like, fuck. And they have to go put it out. And that's this, yes.
Yeah.
No effort. And
Freebird, for God's sake. What more can the man do?
Also, like, no camera, not in the Dabbleverse. That's the rules. Them's the rules. He's made new rules now. If you're not on camera, you're not in the Dabbleverse. It's amazing.
Was it even really me? Could have been anybody. My camera wasn't on. Yeah, so let's hear this fucking idiot.
The first one's called Grand Return, as he makes his
Listen to how he sounds, but like listen to his voice. Remember the Duke? Mm-hmm. He'd go after you. Let me tell you something, shitwaya. Like he had energy. He had life. Listen to this guy. This was sad.
Well, unfortunately, Rob is not going to be around. And I just feel it is
overdose
important
rehab
to play these tapes, and I wouldn't have done it on my own.
It really is. That is important. It would be important to know, like, is Kate Meany a liar? That is really important, John. It was important to expose that. John, by the way, is a guy who fancied himself a political commentator. Like he did a political show. He would talk about world events and government policy and things that are actually important. And now this, in John's world, is important. Think about that word.
A 20-something girl named Kate Meany? That's what he's talking about now?
I thought it would be really important to say Kate Meany's a lying whore. I thought that was of the utmost importance.
You know, when Jordan came out retirement, just to call those ladies whores. And
then he went back to baseball.
Yes.
Wanting to do with it, just do it. But because
he's still programmed, mind you, he has nothing to do with the Dabbleverse, but he still has in his DNA. Mm-hmm. Carl is gay. That's just embedded in him. If I ever say, I don't even have to say just do it. I just have to say the word do. and that is an opportunity for me to call Carl gay.
And now at the bottom of the screen it says, no super chats will be read under $4.99.
Good. I'm glad he put that disclaimer out.
Get some standards.
I think John still thinks it's like legally... Like he's under some legal obligation to read super chats.
I mean, I just thought it was appropriate to doze on.
Listen to this guy. Remember, he had so much juice back in the day.
Yeah, those testosterone pills are not kicking in this morning.
Remember when he called Shuli's dad? That feels like eons ago.
Yep.
Yeah,
he was a young, spry kid back then.
Maybe there was a reason he went away. Maybe he felt the testosterone just leaving his body moment to moment. He's like, I'm not going to last much longer. Got to get out of here.
I got to hang him up. I ain't got my fastball no more.
It's windy. He's doing windy.
I'm not doing anything illegal. I recorded John.
All right, this is called Sharp as Ever. His return with Kate on the tapes.
Well, this is shitware. I hope you're not listening. If you are, turn it off, or at least make sure your kids aren't in the room. He destroys the shitware here. We were mocking his energy and everything. I've never seen him in such rare form. When he claps back with this insult here, everyone will look out. Like, this is what it's supposed to be. In America, this really is like a holiday. It's a celebration. I hate for something so vile to happen on such what's supposed to be a glorious day, really. But this is just nasty what John does here.
I'm not doing anything illegal. I recorded John. I didn't record regular civilians on the face of the planet.
Nobody would care about this phone call. Nobody.
I record extraterrestrial midgets who infiltrate our planet with their own.
No, write that down.
Write that down. John Doe, too, is very funny. First of all, extraterrestrial midgets. Is she talking about shitware?
Oh, Johnny, I'm so glad you came back, if nothing else, for that line. That is nice. I know you are, but what am I? That is the ultimate I'm rubber, you're glue. Well played, Johnny.
Maybe he is back teaching school. Back with the third graders again.
I guess the rebuttal would be, no. She meant you. What?
Yes.
Now what? Now expand on that, John. Do some. What is she talking about the shit way? Like, even that's not the John I grew up knowing and loving in the Dabbleverse. He used to have some fun. Sure, his insults were bad, but they had life behind them. Now he's like fucking Jake LaMotta at the end of. What is she talking about the shitware? I fought Sugar Ray so many times it gave me diabetes. It feels like an old dementia patient.
Just do I.
I think it was about John we were talking about, where I made the reference to Frankie Valli, where he seems like just an old man being trotted out to play the hits. He really is like, well, what is she talking about the shit way? And I don't even know that he's drunk. He's just lifeless. Like, I don't know what the problem is.
20 years of trolling and being 30 years of trolling and being a troll does take a effect on your spirit, I think, Mike.
I ain't got no more fight left in me.
He's punched out.
Now, does that seem like a woman that is not into the extraterrestrial midget?
Oh, he's showing a picture of her, right?
Well, no, he's not.
He thought he was?
Yes, there's a picture of her kissing him on the screen, but I don't think he put that together. That was the guy who made the call.
He's saying, you might be right, but he's saying, like, you really think Kate Meany's not attracted to me? Look, we took a picture together. She's admitting on these calls she was fucking with you. Now, I'll grant you, here's what I will give John. I think Kate Meany is a very damaged human being from the little I've observed. Seems like she has a lot of problems. Yeah, she's young, naive, doesn't even know who she is yet. I'm sure she made John feel loved. Like, I'm sure she made John feel really good about himself. And there might have been part of her that was like, who gives a fuck? I'll give this guy a smooch. Who cares? But, like, she was openly trolling him. And it doesn't get through that dense, yet somehow also wet skull of his that she was fucking with him. It was all to fuck with him. Now, do I think that's, like, wrong to do, to actually fuck with someone in real life? Yeah. Like, the people that celebrate, Kate Meany actually fucked with him in real life. Like, I don't like that move, just as a fellow human being. But she did it. Like, that part is done. And John is still trying to convince us, nah. The Duke's still got it. Yet he's doing it in this limp-dicked way where he's like, you see, Kate Meany actually loves me. You see, she's kissing me on the cheek right there. Like, he sounds way worse than Rob to me, somehow.
Yeah. That's how grandpas go out, just telling you stories of their past conquests, just into the wind as you put them on a nice.
This is like a veteran starting pitcher who had so many great years, and now like he's already been moved to the bullpen. Like he's in middle relief now, but he's still giving up fucking bombs. Like it's sad to watch the waning days of John here. For his sake, he's like, I'm not going to be back, except for the one day that I am going to be back in March. But I'm not going to be back. For John's sake, I hope that's true, because this is rough. This is a sad display.
Next one is called The Point of This.
Well, yeah, I think ultimately I was I was curious what the point of this was, and I guess John is going to tell us.
I would like to say hello to Reddit and hello to YouTube and some hello.
So she knows she's being taped.
Yeah, in the whole conversation, she's like, "This is for the tape. Here you go. Here, I'm gonna do this for the tape."
Now, John will tell you he knows he's being taped also, but he's like calling his ex-wife a cunt and calling her new husband a loser and saying his kids have mental problems. So if John knows he's being taped, that's actually terrible. John should say, I had no idea I was being taped, but he'll act like I know I'm being taped. Kate Meany is openly saying, like, hello, Reddit, I know I'm going to be on. Now, why is she entertaining this guy for an hour or however long she was on the phone? That is weird. Like, it's weird behavior. But we're not here to scrutinize Kate Meany. We're here to talk about John.
Can you imagine, like, 10 years ago, Mike, if a bunch of 50, 60-year-old men gathered around you and wanted to know everything you said? It's got to be weird for this girl to look up and see a bunch of old dudes.
Well, even a better example would be if I had a female friend. Because with a guy, it's different. It just is. Those guys wouldn't be trying to fuck me, you know?
Or imagine a bunch of ladies, 60-year-old ladies surrounding
right.
you.
Right, but no, I'm saying, like, if it was one of my, like, female friends, it would be like, well, it's so obvious what's happening here. This guy is trying to fuck her, and she's fucking with him. Like, in John's case, I don't know what the reason is. It's not like John has money or anything. I don't know Kate's motive. Because it's not even being involved in the Dabbleverse, because she doesn't even do a show. So I have no idea what her motive for all this is. But from John's perspective, it's very obvious what's happening.
Yes. I think her motive is she's serving the comedy gods. That's what she's young. She's like,
I guess, but to what end for her? She complains on these tapes. She's like, I didn't get paid for DabbleCon. It's like, well, did you ask to be? You know what I mean? Like, what I would have said if I wanted to be paid, I would have said, hey, Carl, I have these tapes of Stuttering John. He looks like a real asshole.
Yeah.
Buy them.
Maybe I'd ask what you guys are making on DabbleCon and be like, hey, give me some percentage of that. Or, hey, to me, they're worth $1,000. If you got $1,000, I'll sell them to you. If not, I'll play them on my show. Whatever the case would be, I would work out some kind of a deal with them. Or because I do a show with Carl, maybe I'd just say, hey, have the tapes. I'm not interested in talking about them. But you can't give them the tapes and then go, why didn't they pay me for these?
Yes.
Yeah, she has not taken business 101. She's
No.
a little slow.
Financial literacy is something that needs to be taught to our youth. God damn it.
Yes.
Hello to my friend hello. I would like to say to my friend hello. I say hello to all of the people that you are.
So essentially, what she's saying is the same thing that I would say to her. I always knew she was recording me. In fact, I even did that video that I revealed.
Yeah.
And
that's why I said my kid was a fucking nut job. That's why. That's why I used those gay slurs that I used. It was all to trick you, Kate.
Yes.
Don't.
An idiot.
But like, I thought Rob did a great job in the first hour, but then
He really did.
and
I killed it.
he wasn't on drugs. I just want to say this. Rob was not on drugs.
That sounds convincing.
He
By the way,
just,
like, if he wasn't, how the fuck would John know?
Exactly.
He didn't share. That's how I know. I always ask Rob for drugs, and he didn't have any.
Even like Casey seems perfectly fine to me right now. If someone said, Mike, you have to bet your life, legitimately, like we'll come and track you down. Is Casey on drugs or not? I would say I don't have any fucking idea. It's not my. Why is he so steadfast in this?
have no idea.
Got up very early and he was drinking 11 alcohol content in his beer.
11.
But I do want to
We
get
know
to
max is
the
10, so Rob was really going the extra mile. 11 content.
Yeah.
How do you drink as many beers as John does and not know the proper terminology?
He's entirely made of beer. He doesn't understand numbers.
It's
It's
like
100%.
his main
for him.
hobby. He should know.
Right.
I'm not coming back, man, in many inches. And I told you, it's got to be.
Hey, guys,
more
I
than-
just want to be clear. Blind Mike Project is done as of last week. I'm never doing it again. All right?
We're not here right now. No.
No, you're not watching the Blind Mike Project. I'm just popping in. I'm just having fun. And next week, I'm just going to pop in again. But I'm not doing the show anymore, all right? So get that out of your head. The show's canceled.
I'm still here. Hi.
Put me back on.
You're on there.
$2, and I don't care. But the point of this whole thing is, this is a woman who I helped. I really did. Anybody who knows
protege.
it, I mean, how many times did Pinky and everybody say, John is white knighting or whatever they would say for this girl.
John still thinks this is like a pod. So white knighting, for those of you that aren't aware, and basically I'm just talking to John, it means you're being a simp. Like you're defending a girl in order to hopefully fuck her. Like the idea is that you think by defending this girl, you're going to fuck. Like if people were criticizing ELECTRA in the chat right now, and I was like, hey guys, she's actually really smart and funny. Obviously I'm lying, but I'm trying to get some from ELECTRA, And that's what John was doing with Kate. You're a delight, ELECTRA. I'm just kidding, of course. I'm just giving the people an example.
I know.
But that's what John was trying to do. And John's like, I was white knighting. It was heroic of me. Like John thinks it means he's picturing himself on a horse riding in to save the princess. And he's like, yes, I was very heroic. That's correct.
I'm a courageous duke.
And I did. I really did, because I felt bad that she was getting beaten up. But what should you?
Well, John, how come
What-
I would ask, how come you haven't done that for like Rob Saul or Ray DeVito or how come you haven't gone and fought for them? That is a little odd. Hey, people make fun of me once in a while. People bash Casey Day in the comments.
Oh my God.
John, go defend him. Why aren't you going to everyone's homes to defend Casey Day?
He barely knows Rob Saul's alive when he's co-hosting with him. He's like, Rob's dead over there. Not
Rob legitimately might have been dead while he was doing it. And John's just like, Rob, come on. Pause the clip.
I can't white knight for everyone.
But he'll go to Patrick Melton's home to defend Kate Meany's honor. John, why don't you defend Carl from all the people that call him gay? Oh, wait a minute. You do that.
Yes.
So stop acting like you're trying to shut down bullying of any kind. You were trying to fuck a young girl. Good for you.
25-year-old puss is magic, Mike. It makes you do
Sure.
the craziest things.
Who am I to stop anyone from that sort of joy?
What did she do? She just taped me, which is so bizarre. And why? For the shit way. Or by the way, Shuli knew. And
Shuli knew what?
that
Oh my God, this thing is everywhere now. Like it's even in our chats and stuff. Like Rob Saul showed up in our chat just to type a $5 super chat. Shuli knew in our chat. Well, we were talking
That's
about
probably
Ronnie
not the
Martin.
real Rob Saul, right?
No, it's
It
well, then
was.
it's
I
Vinny.
checked.
Oh, it was the real Rob. Yes.
Yeah.
So they're
Really?
doing this. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're doing this campaign where they're going around to shows and just writing that into chats, no matter what the show's
Shuli
about.
knew
So
what? What are they talking about?
ESO. They're trying to say that Shuli knew about ESO.
Oh,
before.
I've never heard John say that before. Wait, John thinks Shuli knew about ESO? Oh my God! That changes everything.
Yeah. These fucking guys.
that's her reason.
Thanks for the
She
$5.
just decided she should tape me. And so now let's really get into the meat of this.
All right. Hero John is up.
By the way, the meat of this, it couldn't have been more bone. There was no meat to this. The meat at best would have been Kate Meany calling John an extraterrestrial midget and saying John lied about fucking her. Like, that, I guess, was the meat. None of this made John or Kate look good, in my opinion.
Think about how desperate John is to get anything that he has this guy call and tell her. She knows she's being recorded, and John's like, yeah, it's good, it's gold. She knows she's being recorded. There's nothing she's going to stay here that's going to impact her at all. And John's like, got it. Let's play it. I'm back. It's a desperation move, man.
And we're playing the best. And by the best, I mean, like, I struggled to find clips worth pulling of this. This is what John described as, like, hey, I don't want to be here, but I had to be. I really had no choice, you know? It would be like if like Brendan Schaub was hosting the Oscars. Like, I'm coming out of retirement. It's like, I guess I have to talk about this, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that, in John's mind, that's what these tapes were, and there was nothing.
Hero John is the next one.
Well, he is a hero, and John's just doing his civic duty. Remember, he doesn't want to be here. He's just giving back to the community.
Yeah. Hero of the stupid, Electra. That's what they used to call him on Stern.
Trying to say.
Perhaps at one point in time I cared about him because I felt bad for him, but then I realized what a piece of shit he is.
Now, isn't this funny that she says that I'm a piece of shit? Yeah, what did I do? Did I not go to Fatty Patty's house and ask him to stop fucking with her and her mother? Did I not?
Imagine someone arguing whether or not you're a piece of shit. And I can imagine it because I've done it early, like when I started on Kirk's show. It's really the first time I had people like strangers commenting on me. So like when that happens, no matter how many people are doing it, it's like jarring a little bit. You're like, oh, no, wait, maybe I can convince you I'm a good guy. That wears off after a little while. You realize you're not going to convince these people. John has been in the business for 40 years. Essentially, right? Like he started in the late 80s with Stern.
Yep.
So almost we're coming up on 40 years John has been dealing with this stuff. And add on top of that, John was brought into Stern to be a punching bag. And he was good at it. Like that was kind of his whole thing. He actually was very good at being the guy people beat up on. And yet here we are 30 some odd years later where John's like, oh, really, I'm stupid. I'm a loser. Let me convince you otherwise. It's like, when is that going to die, John? When are you going to stop needing our approval? Like, we're here to make fun of you. Maybe we're the idiots. Maybe other shows can look at us and be like, look at these fucking assholes obsessing over this has-been loser drunk. Like, why are they giving him the time of day? You could do that, John. But instead you try to convince us that you're like some good guy.
Your answer, Mike, is it will never end. He will be at his
That's
casket.
clear at this point, yeah. Yeah, there's like a 5-year window you have to be able to adjust to it. And I think John's a little past that. But what's weird about John is he was good at it, like I said. I don't know how good he was, but like he dealt with callers every day, right? I'm sure there were people that probably didn't get on the air that were like, hey, you stuttering fuck, like just called to criticize John. And he had to deal with that for 15 years on Stern. It's amazing he hasn't toughened his skin at all.
You make such a great point because when you come into these worlds, you do have, and then you kind of get public or whatever. Like, I'm a very small channel, and your channel is much bigger than mine. So people are discovering me and shitting on me daily. And you have a choice, right, over time to, just accept that and like move on, try to do your same thing, or just like live in the pool. And he has never gotten out of the pool to just do a show.
I remember I would respond to tweets and be like, oh, no, you misunderstood me.
Yes.
Thinking that would work. And then you have to realize, like, you're not going to convince that they have an opinion of you, John. Yeah. This certainly isn't going to do anything. What's worse is John's a horrible defense of himself. Like, John's a horrible self-attorney because he digs deeper and makes it worse, and he's inarticulate and stupid. So it never helps.
Approach that fat hunchback in Atlantic City and tell him to shut the fuck up about her and her mother, but I'm a piece of shit. What has Shitway done for her?
Why is
He
that?
hasn't paid her any.
It's whataboutism. It's when you argue about Trump and someone says, "Well, what about Biden?" It's like, yeah, but that's not what we're talking about right now. Just and that is a more direct comparison because they both led our nation. Whereas John, just out of nowhere, like, hey, Kate Meany's mother hates John. Well, what has the shitwayer done for them?
Yeah,
That
it
has
really
nothing
is
to
like
do with this, John.
it really is like the Hatfields and the McCoys for John, him and
Yeah.
Shuli. He thinks it's like this.
Right, yeah, if you hate
ultimate-
me, you must love Shuli. And I have to convince you not to like Shuli. Maybe they don't think Shuli's that great a guy either. Like, but that has nothing to do with you, John. If they hate Shuli, it doesn't make you a better man all of a sudden.
It's because John's a landlord to Shuli because he rents so much space in his own goddamn mind to him. It would be annoying to be that obsessed with someone. So it must eat at him constantly and never, ever give it up.
John did say something it was a throwaway line, but he goes, and tell your father to stop texting me. I guess Shuli has been feeding his. Remember John called his dad on New Year's Eve?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess Shuli has been telling his dad texts to send John.
Fucking hilarious.
So now John's been getting a text from this 87-year-old man.
Let me tell you about my son, Shuli. He is a shitwayer from birth.
Anything for any of these tapes, but she somehow wants his attention, which is sad.
All right. True love is on the horizon here.
Oh, good.
Stuttering John. Yeah.
Good.
By the way, this is one thing that I meant to say, and I wanted to say on Rob's show. If you really heard the tapes that Kate had with me, if you really were there, how many times she told me how much she loved me is every phone call. I love you. I love you. All the fucking time.
I'm sure Dane Cook's brother said a lot of shit like that too, you know? I'm sure Bernie Madoff really reassured people that he was doing what's best with their money. Like, people who are scamming you will say things that aren't true,
Yes.
John.
Mm-hmm.
The Melendez brothers told their parents they loved them all the time. All the
Menendez. You have
Menendez.
Melendez on the
Right.
brain.
time. Yes, I do.
This girl's a sociopath. A spoiled sociopath.
I can't believe the girl that was scamming me was also lying to me.
Mm-hmm. Sex claims is the next and final one.
This is the saddest one, where it's like John lives in high school, where he's like, I fingered Kate the other day, and he tells his boys, and then his boys start telling other people, and that gets back to Kate. And all of a sudden, Kate's like, "No, I didn't, you fucking loser." And John's like, "You wanted to, but you're actually gross. I never even liked you." It's the saddest high school bullshit that this 60-year-old man is living in.
That's third grade shit. He
Yeah.
punches the girl he likes.
Actually, she has cooties.
Yes. I gave them to her.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody just, like, it's like, she's such a slut. She's talking to John again.
Oh, it's all. That's why they think you're a slut, Kate? Because you're talking to
And
me?
then he tweets out, I spent the night at a lady's apartment. Yeah, he spent the night in my apartment because, like...
Yeah, but hold on, lady. First of all, if I tweet out...
John, you have the ability to pause it.
We should keep talking over me.
Oh, hey, Kate, quiet down, please. I'm trying to get a word in edgewise.
I didn't come back to get talked over.
that I spent the night at a lady's apartment, I'm not saying who it is. It could be anybody,
John,
you dumb fuck.
Dumb
So,
fuck.
but you get angry at that. Nobody knows it's you. But you're so stupid. You need something to hate me. 'Cause you
Okay,
really
John,
don't
let's see
hate
if people can decode this message. I was on a podcast yesterday, and we were talking about other podcasts, and the host was super flamboyant, if you know what I mean. Oh my god!
Mm-hmm.
And before the show, he was talking about throating cocks, but really, he just do it. You know what I mean? Like, he's that kind of a guy.
Okay.
It's so. Who could I be talking about? No one can figure that out. John, you did it. You did it. You did it in a way where you. This is what John did. I went out with Kate Meany last night. and we had a lovely time. And then I went back to a certain woman's apartment, whose name I won't say, and we shagged. Boy, what an encrypted message. I can't figure out what you're saying, John. I never said a name.
You love me. And that's the whole issue. You don't hate me. You know it. I know it. But here, let's keep going.
Club and follow
Sounds
me
so
home.
defeated.
Like, he slept outside. He didn't sleep in my bed.
Lie. I slept in a bed.
Nice.
Again, as a 60-year-old man, why is that a brag? I slept in her bed and didn't fuck her. Ooh. Did you get to smell her hair, John?
I was a mere 1 foot away from young pussy. That counts as something.
I didn't fuck her, but she rolled over and the back of my hand kind of grazed one of her butt cheeks. And that's kind of like sex.
I was there for if she ever decided to give up on life in that moment and hold her. All right, we have some super chats here.
All right, that was the end of John.
Yep, that's it.
All right. Well, the big tease is he's coming back March 1st. I don't know what's significant about that day. Oh, you don't know that?
No, I haven't.
Oh, yeah. Guys, circle your calendar for March 1st because he's going to do this again. If you thought the first return was good, wait for the next one. I don't know. He keeps saying, like, I have to come back on March 1st. You all know I have to come back on March 1st.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get demonetized.
That's it. That's it. Someone said that.
Brilliant, ELECTRA.
Yeah.
Well, brilliant
it was
super chatter.
She's a good reader.
I'll give ELECTRA credit. Very smart, ELECTRA. Good girl.
Speaking of which, ELECTRA, you ready?
Dawn fried chicken, $9.99. So, Craig, funny story. I was helping my daughter make Valentine's Day cards, and one of them is addressed to a Craig Akone. What a coincidence. Must be a kid in her 6th grade class.
It's a common name.
That's very nice. I gotta say about most predators, they don't foster a loving relationship like that.
Really
That's kind of noble in a way.
Yeah. Most predators are right down to the nitty gritty.
Right?
Craig
romances them.
Wines and dines them. Sorry, Craig. Beat the charges. All right, go ahead.
Rocco Orbe, 2002 for $2. Rob, Hugh Hefner's ghost wants his pajamas back.
Oh, did he have some
Mike,
did he have a smoking jacket on?
No, well, he had a blue blouse on that you would see like your mom wear at a PTA back in the 80s.
Like silky kind of, like shiny silk, like from the 80s.
Hey, the man had 3 beers. He was making some wild decisions.
And apparently the reports from AC are the man tan on him is pretty intense. Like he's a heavy like a tan spray guy. So he's like orange as fuck. So it's just the news coming out. I'm just telling you what I heard.
Hey, Joe from Virginia, $1.99. Have a great show, boys.
Hello,
BMP
buddy.
for life. Hashtag BMP for life.
I appreciate that.
And Ben Boolin, $9.99. Mike, ever consider covering Ralphie or Ari or On Why Are You Laughing? Those could be great. Great show, gang.
We did an Ari Shaffir episode, a defense of Ari Shaffir, almost a year ago. So go back and watch that. But yeah, Ralphie May is definitely on the list at some point. I've been meaning to do an episode about him for a while. So maybe I'll do it soon.
All right.
Nice. Patrick Ford, $1.99. Disrespect towards the Duke is classless.
Well, what can I tell you? The man, sometimes you need to, you got to shake him into like waking up, for God's sake. Like John was just unalive. I miss the old Duke. And I think if you're a fan of the Duke, Patrick, you'll admit the same. Like he had no spirit. He had no get up and go.
It was a low T Duke. Let's just be honest. It was a low T Duke.
Mm-hmm.
We need a high T Duke to rule us.
Absolutely.
Right. And JB50 for $5 says John came back so he doesn't lose his YouTube monetization. There we go.
Electra stealing your ideas. Sorry, sir.
I didn't even read it. Just kidding. I did. I totally
steal
did.
the free chat. Not the paid ones are going to come up.
I like the idea of Electra saying that and then go, all right, here's one that steals what I just said.
Perfect.
This loser.
Yeah.
We should have done that backwards.
Just did that right now.
Sorry, buddy.
But that's true. Like you do have to come and broadcast and get a super chat and stuff in order to restart your clock, your 90-day clock thing. So,
but now he doesn't have to do it on March 1st.
No. Now he's good. So that is a lie. He is lying now.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Ding Lizard, €5. The reply to "You're a POS" is, of course, really did I not go to Fatty Patty's house? You instantly won that argument if you bring that up.
I might go to Patrick Melton's house just so no one can ever call me a piece of shit.
That's right.
I understand. I stood in the streets and yelled near a man's house,
Holding a ghetto box. Coach Tim Bullinger, $4.99. The fighter in the kid shop. All the thick boy merch is marked down to $8.
What?
Oh, we'll get to the fighter. And I gotta tell you, this is gonna sound like I'm doing the thing where I jokingly defend Brendan Schaub. I'm being honest with you. Let me get my thick boy hat here, right here.
You got a thick boy hat?
This is a good hat. Honestly, like, if it didn't represent something I was so ashamed of, I would wear it every day. Like, I like this hat. It's very comfortable.
You don't wear it on your show, though.
I do sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
I do it. I'll tell you this, Electra. I do it when we're not talking about Brendan Schaub. Like, we're talking about Bryan Callen today. I never want to get misconstrued that I'm a genuine fighter in the kid fan. So when we're not talking about Brendan Schaub, I will wear that hat. But also not on Why You Laughing, because I want people to respect my opinion on that show.
That's right.
We call that more a Tom Myers hat. That's a hat you wear when you're watching Tom Myers of the Army.
That's
Major.
right.
That is
That's
not
right.
a Brendan Schaub hat.
Yeah.
But speaking of Bryan Callen, would you like to get to Bryan Callen right now?
I would. Matan Evan, our boy Matan, got
Funny
to
as fuck.
he got closer to the mountaintop. The pinnacle for him is obviously interviewing Brendan Schaub. He got about as close as you can. His co-host on The Fighter and the Kid, Bryan Callen. I was surprised Bryan Callen agreed to do it. There were elements Callen handles a little weird where I'm like, you must have been expecting these questions. But I thought Matan did a good job. Here's where I think Matan is in an interesting place. Like, I don't know that he will ever be able to do a job that satiates the people that really hate Brendan Schaub. So I hope Matan has an understanding of like why he's doing this. Because if he becomes buddy with these guys, and that's often what happens when you meet these guys, you're like, oh, they're not so bad. They're not bad people. I might not think they're funny, but they don't deserve all the shit they've been getting. So in a way, like, these guys may charm you. So Matan is walking dangerous ground here, but I think he handled it very well, and I thought Callen handled it very well. So we'll give you a little taste if you want to go check out Matan Evans' I was going to say latest episode. His episodes drop, I think, while
Same
we're
day.
on the air. So it'll be his second to last episode if you go check it out. But here he is talking to Bryan Callen.
It's called bullying.
Oh, so a little setup is needed for this. I had not heard, I don't think I'd ever heard this clip, or maybe I did at the time and just forgot about it. But a famous Bryan Callen clip from the Joe Rogan Experience is Rogan and Schaub bullying Bryan Callen when he says, he goes, I used to get bullied as a kid, but now if someone fucks with me, I'm showing up to their house. Bang, bang, bang. Like, he's talking like this tough guy. And Rogan and Schaub are both like, what are you talking about? You're going to murder someone because they mess with you? Like, Bryan Callen was doing this fake tough guy act. And that is what Matan is calling out here, which is very funny.
I mean, you want me to tell you what I was in?
Tell them a little bit about you. And by the way, I'm just gonna warn you now, don't fucking bully me.
I would never bully you.
I'll show up right to your house. Bang, bang, bang. I don't give a fuck about your UFC.
Come on, you're doing me on Rogan, dude. I know what you're fucking doing.
No, I don't give a fuck about your UFC shit.
No,
I'll go straight to your house, all right?
That's what I used to be like. And now I'm not that way. I've found God, and I'm a little
Don't
bit
fucking
more.
bully me,
All right. I'm just saying.
So now introduce yourself.
You and I have a lot in common. I was a lot like you when I was younger.
No, I would never say something that stupid. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I'm an actor. I came to Los Angeles to be an actor because I like to move people to tears and to laughter.
It's just so bad.
Why?
What's wrong with that?
Well, you said you like to move.
Mike, you can't see it, but Mike, I think his name is Mike.
I don't know if that's Mike. It might be one of his other side characters. I think that was his manager, maybe.
Okay, he's aggressive. This guy that's right next to Brian is
Viral
aggressive-
flooring, I believe.
Okay, he's aggressively eating a pizza, but he looks like a goddamn skeleton. It's
He's
scary.
scary
It's
looking.
frightening. 3 inches away from Bryan Callen's face as he's doing this.
This is where you got to give Callen credit. Like, to be in this environment, it's actually probably horrifying. And pile that on top of the fact that like this kid doesn't like you, like he's actually legitimately not a fan of yours. So you don't know what the fuck he's gonna do. You don't know what his line is. So kudos to Callen for showing up here, but Matan is also being very funny.
This looks like if everyone on the David Collins morning show was doing acid at the same time. That's what this show looks like.
This is what I thought David Collins was going for. Maybe he will eventually. Shout out David Collins' 30-minute half-hour show. Go watch it on the David Collins Show YouTube channel.
David, you got to get a mic. You got to get an aggressive weirdo in there. I mean, you are weird, but you know what I mean.
Move them to tears?
Yes, and laughter. That's the whole point of being an artist.
Have you ever made a person laugh before?
Yeah, I'm a comic, dude. I'm really good at stand-up comedy.
I understand that that's like the thing, but does it working?
Yes, it works. That's why I don't sell a lot of tickets, but I sell a respectable amount of tickets.
Yes. Even in this bit, he corrected himself where, like, that's been a tough thing you can tell for Callen to deal with. Around this time last year, we talked about them canceling shows at the Vulcan in Austin because no one was buying tickets, and they did that live show that no one showed up to. You can tell that is a tough thing for Callen to deal with. And what's weird is like it's not like Bryan Callen suddenly got worse at comedy. You know what I mean? Like, so that does have to be tough for him to deal with, where I really think if you examined it, I know Callen got canceled. He had the Me Too incident, which seems to have gone away. I don't know if people just didn't believe it or what happened exactly with that. But
Me Too's over, Mike.
I know, yeah. Do whatever you want, boys. Yeah. But it seems like the real downfall of Bryan Callen's career was simply sitting next to Brendan Schaub. Like, if he didn't get into all this shit with Tiger Belly and all this stuff that Schaub kind of dragged him into, I think his career would be in a much better place. And that's got to be the tough thing. Like, loyalty has fucked this guy.
Yeah. And also interesting to that point, he leads with actor. Oh yeah, I came to Hollywood to be an actor. You know that thing?
He was more of an actor. He's been in a lot of stuff.
Oh,
like,
a ton of stuff.
Yeah, like you'd always see Callen pop up, even if it was just like one-offs in sitcoms or like he was in Old School and The Hangover. He was in Entourage. Like he had all these like little roles and all these things that so many people watched. So yeah, I would put actor first as well. He's on Mad TV.
I guess what I'm saying is I think he wants to put comedian first, but he can't. And he knows that acting he can hang his coat on because he has credits.
I'll say similar but different. I think he wishes he could still put acting first legitimately, but now he's forced to be a comedian. Like after the Me Too thing happened, which it did seem like he got railroaded on. Like it was a girl he was dating for a while. The people kind of refuted a lot of the claims. He sued them for defamation. I don't know where that ended up. But he did fight it a lot louder than a lot of people, like Chris D'Elia. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but I do know it dried up a lot of the act. He got thrown off the Goldbergs. Now I think a lot of people won't cast him. So I think it's more he wishes he could still legitimately put acting first.
Do you think they won't cast him because of the Me Too or Brendan Schaub, honestly? Because he sits next to Brendan Schaub.
Oh, the Me Too. I don't think Hollywood gives a fuck about that.
Okay.
Really. Yeah.
And this one's called Younger Man.
This is very fun. Matan picks up on something. Like Callen's going to tell you that he's changed, and Matan makes an important note here.
Have any?
All right, well, we'll get into the serious stuff. Just remember that thing about bullying, because, you know.
Yeah, I know. I got in trouble for bullying certain people.
Yeah? Did they show up to your house? Bang, bang, bang.
Dude, I know what you're doing. Look,
I'm not referencing anything.
Yeah, if I feel like you are, and I was a younger man, fucking way better looking, and I feel like I was, I had a lot of heat in me. And when you're young, you have a lot of heat.
You were like 50 years old.
No, okay, no, I wasn't.
How old are you now?
I'm 57.
Okay,
listen,
that was 9 years ago.
I have tight
48
skin.
years old.
Was I that old?
You were 48 years old.
Okay,
How would I know that?
but when
I
I
don't
was,
even know what you're referencing.
Okay, but when I was 48, I had a lot of, look, as I still had a lot of testosterone running through my veins. As you get older, you develop perspective. So if you wanted to fight me when I was younger, I'd be like, right, let's go. But right now, I would do this. Watch. Say, I want to fight you. Watch this. Watch this. Watch
if you want to bully me, I'll fight you. Bang, bang, bang.
You're not mad at me, young man. You're just mad at the world. You see, that's called perspective.
You would say that to a 48-year-old?
Such a good point. Like, Callen's trying to be like, hey, I've grown and everything. You were fucking 50, man. That's what it is. What a lot of these guys do. It's kind of what Stern has done, where he's like, I was so young and crazy back then. It's like when he went to Sirius, he was in his 50s. Like, what the fuck do you mean young? So it is very funny that he pointed that out.
In the free chat, Peru Rizu put in that Callen was set to get a spin-off of the Goldberg. So he does seem like a guy that had everything in the palm of his hand, about to be a superstar, and it was snatched. And
superstar seems strong, but yeah.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
Having a TV show on ABC, that's pretty good.
No, and I do get that that's probably, they were like one of the first in podcasting, and they got very big. And it just became such a punchline that they couldn't overcome that anymore. Now, if you look at their numbers, I mean, they do a fuck of a lot better than me. Like, they still have a big podcast. It's just not what it was. And they look at Tony Hinchcliffe getting millions of views. They look at Rogan getting hundreds of millions of dollars from Spotify. Theo Vaughn, Andrew Schultz. These guys have the fucking president on. Like, they look at that and think that should have been us. And instead, it's, Busting with the Boys is taking their place and stuff like that.
Good show, Busting with the Boys. I like that show.
Yeah.
Comfortable.
Have you ever tried?
I got this fucking guy next to me. Keep going. Sorry.
Have you ever tried a Mexican cookie? It's
this is called Mexican cookie.
If you don't know, if you're not a fan of Gringo Poppy like I am, that's one of the staple bits. Now, you're going to watch Bryan Callen pretend he has no idea what Matan is talking about here, but Matan doesn't let up. So a Mexican cookie, Matan will explain what it is, but what it really is just lazy joke writing. So that's about the background you need.
Comfortable.
Have you ever tried?
I got this fucking guy next to me. Keep going. Sorry.
Have you ever tried a Mexican cookie? It's like a chocolate chip with salsa all over it.
Now, that reaction, Callen knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, you're going to see Callen play dumb and pretend it's something else. It is weird. Like, he must have known Brendan's act was going to come up, but watch him try and pivot away from that.
It's my favorite food, to be honest with you. I love the sweet and the spicy. I've always been kind of a sweet and spicy person myself, like behind my face. Thank God he's fucking done with his pizza, this fucking monkey. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have called him that. The point is
that wow? Why did you say that?
Because it just
Thanks
popped
for pointing
out.
that out. I might not have realized what you said.
But Bryan tries to kind of spin away. Like, he tries to be playful with it, but then he goes on this thing where it seems like he doesn't get that that's a Schaub joke. You can tell by his reaction he knows, but then Matan brings it back up in a few minutes.
Yes, explaining the joke.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I got distracted a little bit. Why is the Mexican cookie chocolate chip with salsa all over it your favorite food?
Because it's not what you would expect, and it's what I call a sensual food.
Have you tried it before?
No, but I'm going to.
Who's going to introduce you to it?
Probably Matan.
If it wasn't me, because earlier you said it was your favorite food, implying that you would have tried it so far.
Because I went through it in my mind.
Who would have introduced you to that?
Who would have introduced me to a chocolate chip cookie?
Chocolate chip with salsa all over it.
Somebody of Latin descent.
Viral flooring?
And you're the one who told me he was Venezuelan.
Where's Brendan Schwab from?
It's Schaub. You have to say his name right.
Brendan Schaub?
Yeah, Brendan Schaub. He is not Mexican.
So why would
He's
you?
not Latin.
So then
he's actually a white boy.
So why didn't you say that?
Well, because you said Schwab and I said Schaub.
That's where I got introduced to it, and it's my favorite food.
Really?
Yeah,
From
the Mexican
Brendan?
cookie.
Oh, you know what, dude? You fucking led me down the rabbit hole, and I fell for it. And you're looking up like you don't know what you're saying.
I don't know.
See, you're acting innocent, but you're not doing a good job.
I didn't do anything.
God, I'm jealous of your name, to be honest, too.
You
Matan.
You just realized now what that question was?
I fucked up.
I thought you would have got it immediately.
I didn't.
There is something I'll defend Callen and say there is the people that obsess over Brendan on Reddit and everything. Shout out to the homeless cats, PF Chang's. But some of the people think, oh, they live in fear of this every day. Bryan Callen probably isn't thinking about a Mexican cookie that often.
No.
But I will acknowledge, it did seem like he knew what it was. So what I respect about Callen here is he doesn't know what the fuck to do. He doesn't know the best way to answer these questions while appeasing Matan and this audience and getting them to respect him, but also maintaining his friendship with Brendan Schaub. He's walking a tightrope here and doing his best at it, I guess. I do think there's a way to play with it, but in order to do that, you need Brendan to sign off.
Yes.
And we just can't get that last step. Like Brendan did Skankfest and Legion of Skanks, and he was playful with it. We can't get that last step. Like if Brendan does Matan's show, maybe, just maybe, he could rehabilitate his image. I still think, and I keep getting fucked on this every time I say it, Brendan goes out of his way to prove me wrong, whether it's the truck giveaway that he's been doing or, making a tearful retirement from stand-up, all that shit. It doesn't seem like Brendan has it in him. But, like, there is a path for redemption for Brendan Schaub. And it doesn't seem like he's going to do it based on these Callen reactions because Callen's still afraid of overstepping with Brendan.
Which I have a question. Have they ever done, these guys, have they ever done a roast? Is there like a Brendan Schaub roast out? That is the ticket back into this.
It could be ugly, yeah. But here's the problem with that though. You know what happens on a roast? The subject goes last.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like that's the ultimate problem. Is Brendan would have to perform.
It would be the greatest roast of all time, knowing that is the last thing.
I'd love it, but I'm saying like if you're doing it to rehab his image and like bring him back into comedy, I don't know that allowing him to perform comedy is the way to do that.
That's not why I'm doing it, Mike. I'm doing it so Brian can say
the
things that he. Brian has some things he wants to say about Brendan, but is not able to say them, and I think that would give him the opportunity to say them.
And they would have to do it right. They would have to let Tim Dillon be on it.
Yep,
and
everyone.
Tony Hinchcliffe and the guys that would really go after them. They'd have to let Bobby Lee do it. Like they would have to allow everything. I just don't know if Brendan has that in him. It seems like Callen does though, so good for him.
This one's called Homeless Cats.
Yeah, shout out to PF Chang's, as I said.
Me and Brennan.
I just know all about you guys, and I'm happy that you're here. And
okay.
I got rid of.
I feel like you're not being sincere.
I'm being super sincere. I got rid of.
Why are you looking over there? You're not looking at me.
I got rid of all of the animals that I have here usually, and that I got rid of some of the.
I know
dumpsters.
a lot about animals.
There were some homeless people that used to be here. I got rid of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Are you getting this reference yet or no?
I'm bad with these references, bro.
I got rid of like the cats and all that.
Like he's trying to get into. Brian's just not playing along. I don't know if Brian's playing dumb or he's genuinely just not picking up on it because that's not as direct as Matan could have been. Maybe this is a weird spot for Matan too, where like I almost wish he had a more real discussion with him, but this character, it would kill the character if he did that.
Yeah.
So it's a weird place for Matan to be. Also, I think.
This was called Worst Comedians.
Yeah, so he has Brian name some of the best comedians and then says, well, what's the antithesis of that? What would you say?
Within your friend group, who do you think are the 5 funniest comedians?
I think Bill Burr. I think Dov Davidoff.
So weird first two.
Yes.
Steve Byrne.
But Kate Meany connected. Hey, the last 2 segments.
How did Dov Davidoff and Steve Byrne slip in there?
No idea.
Byrne cracks me up. I think Andrew Santino is hilarious.
Okay.
I think Bobby Lee's hilarious.
So that's the 5.
I think Sebastian Maniscalco is hilarious.
Okay, so 6.
I have a lot of famous friends. Joe Rogan. I can keep going.
Well, I said, okay, well, let's move on to the next segment.
Sorry,
Who now the 5 least funny? So now you can get to those guys.
That's a fucked up question, bro.
It's a smart question.
But it's a
you
smart question.
You already have one in there
it's
so far.
It's a smart question.
Yeah. You already have the first one.
Wait a minute.
I'm just assuming that you knew that was the next question. No. That's why you said guy at the end.
Dude, let me explain.
I'm just
Matan. Do you understand? He could make one phone call. He could open his fucking window and whisper, and this whole podcast goes away.
Oh, are we talking about Brendan Schwab or Joe Rogan?
We're talking about Joe Rogan.
Oh, I love Joe Rogan. He's funny. Oh, but he's in that top 5, the second list. So now finish the next 4.
I mean, the 4 who are not funny. There are a lot of comics.
We both know who the next guy is. Will you say it?
There are a lot of. Why do you keep looking up? I feel like you're baiting me. Listen,
I'm looking up.
There are a lot of
so
comics.
Excited.
Okay, look.
I can't contain to look at you because you're laughing. You're all smiling.
I'm not laughing. Listen,
I'm trying to say
I'm being
all serious and business style.
When it comes to comedy,
When I asked you, real quick, I'm just going to interrupt you because I don't want to hear this bullshit. When I asked you for the 5 funniest, you gave me 6 in like 20 seconds.
I did.
Now, when I'm asking for the 5 least funny, I know what names are coming to your mind.
You are not a mind reader, dude.
I know,
You're not
I know
psychic.
at least 2 of them. One of them you named. One of them we named earlier, and I want you to name him here.
Matan, don't say. Oh, okay. I don't know what you're saying.
Okay, so let's start off with
He
you.
does.
Name 0
Yeah.
of the least funny ones.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so comedy. So sometimes people are funny off the cuff. Stand up.
okay.
Stand up is a little bit different because it requires. Stop looking up like that. Stand up.
It's just
is different.
such bullshit.
No, I'm not bullshitting. You want?
Why
Just,
didn't you have to do this explanation when I asked you for the 5
I'm trying to
funniest?
create a caveat here. Stand up is something
But
like.
you know that I have to get an answer from you. I can't accept not getting an answer or you win.
See, you win. That's where Matan's in a tough spot. Like, he is doing this for like Reddit and Red Bar and shit like that. Like, Matan is trying to please people that I don't think will ever necessarily be pleased with how this comes out. But that makes you ask yourself, because Callen is so close to just being like, yeah, shut up, obviously.
So close.
How freeing would it be for all involved if we could all just say, and by we, I mean Bryan Callen and Brendan Schaub, could just be like, yeah, Brendan's stand-up career was a disaster. But he tried, like he gave it his all, and maybe he shouldn't have taken the Showtime deal, and he definitely shouldn't have put out Gringo Poppy after that. But like, he gave it his all. Could any of you do better? Like, how freeing would that be if Bryan and Brendan could just say that, but Bryan can't say it because he knows Brendan's not there yet. He's not capable of acknowledging that, which is so strange, where it's like, what you're hearing there by Bryan laughing, he's like, I know who you're referring to, all that shit, is him acknowledging, like, you think Brendan Schaub is a terrible comedian, and I'm not allowed to agree with you. So it's like when they say, like, the N-word on the news. We all know what word they're saying. It's similar to that. Like, we all know what Matan and Bryan are doing. We all know the conversation they're having. It's childish that we can't just take that next step and outwardly say it in fear of upsetting Brendan Schaub. It is amazing to me at this point that Brendan doesn't want to say, like, guys, I know I fucking sucked at stand-up. Because when Brendan does that, he'll do it with, like, he's like, hey, I wasn't the greatest stand-up, but neither were Bill Burr and Louis C.K. when they were in their 30s. It's like, don't you dare. Don't you dare invoke Louis C.K.'s name in this conversation. It's not anywhere close to the same. So that's like the kind of frustrating thing. But this might be as close as we ever get to them acknowledging that.
If Brendan Schaub was built like Ari Shaffir, I don't think anyone would have problems saying what they want to say. They're all just afraid of that fucking ear that he has. What got him that ear?
There's a little of that, but there's also, like, Bryan is friends with Brendan. You know what I mean? Like, if you just made me say something about a good friend of mine that they're sensitive about, I'd be super uncomfortable with that. You know what I mean? I'd be like, oh, no, man, no, I think he is funny. Whatever, you know, like, that is a dickhead thing to do to a friend, just sandbag him on some troll's show. But, like, at this point, it's strange that Brendan doesn't have the to be like, hey, I think I'm good at podcasting. I think I'm good at UFC commentary. I was a horrendous stand-up. You know, like, it's weird that he can't say that when that's been the unanimous feedback.
That roast would free everyone, man. This one, next one is called TFATK, The Fighter and the Kid.
Yes, so we hear about that podcast. And I think what Bryan's saying is somewhat true, and there's a little jealousy underlying, but let's hear it.
You go first.
I think that everybody
Maybe they're good
is
at something
funny
else.
in their own
Maybe
right.
they're good at something else.
I think people are all very funny in
Maybe
their
they're
own
good
way.
at talking. Maybe they're good at fighting.
Yeah.
So name them.
The people that are good at talking and fighting?
Sure.
Okay, people that are very good at talking and fighting. Well, my co-host, for example, on Fighter and the Kid.
Oh, what's his name?
Brendan Schaub. Very funny. Very funny man.
Oh,
Cracks
he's
me up.
funny?
Very funny. Very strong.
Do you legally have to say that?
No. Listen, do you listen to Fighter and the Kid?
I don't listen.
See, I knew it. I fucking knew it. You went like this. You went which means no.
I don't listen to the full episodes, but
there's so much nuance that you can't.
Well, I listen to.
I gotta say, I've listened to a few episodes. I don't know how much nuance there is.
Nuance.
When I pull clips, I have to go through the whole fucking episode. Nuance feels strong, but
I've often responded to you, Mike, like these clips you sent to me. I'm not understanding. Can you explain the nuance of this to me? Brendan Schaub's fucking rolling a truck,
and then I give an 8-hour seminar on the nuance of the fighter and the kid.
About it from different sources.
So you're hearing a third party, dude. I need you to get involved in the podcast Fighter and the Kid, and you will see that I'm not just the only genius in that fucking duo. It's Brendan Schaub.
I'll tell you this.
Now we've gone a little crazy. I would say neither of you are geniuses, Brian, and I'm sure a lot of people like your show, but genius feels a little strong for either of you.
Yeah, there's a great chat in here that said he looked like Jack White. He does look like Jack White. This Matan Evan.
Oh, does he?
Definitely. He looks like a Tim Burton version of Jack White. That's what I.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Are you talking about the underground community? You son of a bitch.
Yeah, so like Brian's calling him out for like trying to appease the homeless cats, but for the answer to like Brian was almost there, where he's like, dude, you don't even listen to the full episode. Listen to a full episode, give it a try. But to say like, then you'll see that both me and Brendan are geniuses. It's like, oh, that's why people make fun of you. You just nailed it.
Now this one's called Tiger Belly.
So this, for those that need a history lesson on this one, the Tiger Belly beef is where a lot of people that drew a lot of lines in the comedy community, where Brendan really overreacted to getting trolled and blamed Kalila. A lot of people think Kalila is guilty of this, in fact. But the real gross part of it was Brian threatening his longtime friend Bobby Lee, who's a tiny little boy, a tiny little scared boy. Brian threatened to beat him up on multiple phone calls, and this is him having to answer for that here.
There's a couple 100,000 of us now.
You're part of that community?
I
bet you
started
that
it.
fucking guy is too.
And
You started it?
Oh, you know what email I use too?
Which?
You know.
What is it?
Tiger Belly.
Listen to me right now. I got some information.
See, this is why I have the great podcast, because nobody else would talk to you like this.
I know, and I appreciate it. And it's good that we're getting this out there.
Yeah.
Now look, Tiger Belly.
Now that I mentioned that, are you going to call me after this and threaten to kill me?
Never.
No? Never. I would guess that that's something you might do.
No, I would never do that. That was when I was 40. That was when I was 48, bro. I've grown up.
No.
I'm not as hot.
Oh, so a good.
Yeah, can I say something too? Like, I know Matan is in character and everything, but he is like, I hear a lot of podcasters make fun of the people who are interested in the type of shit we're doing right now, like the gossipy inside angle of podcasting. And a couple things. If that went away, none of your podcasts would be as big as they are. Like all the people who think that's lame that we care so much about podcasts, your audience evaporates if you eliminate all the people that care about that shit. Like the reason these podcasts have such a massive following is because people care. I remember when we talked about Toby McMullen getting fired from Are You Garbage? A lot of people were very interested in it. That video did very well. But there were some comments that were like, oh, who cares? A guy left a podcast. Who gives a shit? Well, if that caring goes away, then so goes the audience. Like today with the Super Bowl, if your passion for it is like, hey, you know, I hope both teams play hard and feel good about the outcome. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who wins. Well, if that's the mentality of every sports fan, you can collapse the NFL. Goodbye football. Yes. You need people to really give a fuck. You need people to care if the Chiefs are as good as the Patriots dynasty, and if the Chiefs are cheating and the refs are in the bag. Like, you need people to care about that shit. So for Matan to say, like, hey, I'm the only guy that will talk to you like this, I get that he's in character, but there is truth to it where, like, if comics were more open to having these conversations and didn't shit on the people that care about it, it would be interesting. You'd be appeasing the fans, and also it would free them in a way. Like if Brian and Brendan could have had this conversation 10 years ago, I don't think they would have had the downfall that they've had. Like if they could openly talk about the Reddit without trying to sue people. Like Brendan sued a guy on YouTube for talking shit about him. Instead, have the guy on. That guy, Unique, is a mush-mouthed drunk who sounds retarded. I love Kyle. Kyle's a great man. He's put out a lot of great content, but he sounds mentally challenged. So you could have just had him on and made him look foolish, but instead you went the route of litigation. So, like, Matan is giving you guys a life raft here, whether you see it or not. And I appreciate Bryan playing along, but I don't know if Brendan ever will.
No, Brendan's Rob Lowe wearing the NFL hat. He's not going to. I'm just saying out of
Right.
everything.
Right.
To admit that you did that.
What's that?
What?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
you admitted it. Come on, don't.
I did.
Okay.
But also, I think you're talking about Tiger Belly, and
I love Tiger. I went on there
so do I.
recently.
So do I. Did
Yeah.
Bobby?
This
mention
whole
it?
thing, the reason Bryan threatened to kill Bobby Lee is because of people trolling them. Just keep that in mind. Like, they could have been so free if they just didn't let the comments bother them as much.
Off camera.
Did he say good things?
He said that you threatened to beat him up and kill him.
I can't remember exactly.
He didn't mention that, but I heard on that community.
And you know, Bryan has acknowledged it in the past, and he's apologized to Bobby and everything. But it's like, take stock in what you're doing. Where if you're threatening little adorable Bobby Lee physically,
Yes.
take a step back and say, like, we shouldn't be behaving like. Maybe there's a different route to approaching all this. Even if Kalila is shitting on you on Reddit, there's a different route than, you know, litigation, getting lawyers involved. It's so anti-comedy the way they handle all that. So I'm glad they hopefully are now going the route of embracing it a little bit, like going on Matan's show.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, you got to give them some grace. They were in their mid-40s. I mean, you're still learning
Right,
as a man.
right,
you don't really,
right.
You don't really develop until you're like 90. And so
That's a
you know.
good point. Yeah. Bryan was in his 50s when the Bobby Lee thing. He was like 55.
Last one here is called Nice Moment.
Well, this is not, and I appreciate Matan acknowledging this because it's the thought I was having while I was watching it.
I don't have an answer for you.
Two.
I would never say who I don't think is funny. It's so mean.
Okay, let me phrase it like this. Is Theo Vaughn funny?
Yes.
He's very funny.
Yes.
Is your co-host funny?
I think you mean on the Fighter and Kid?
You didn't say.
Wait, on the
I
Fighter
said
and
is
Kid?
Theo Vaughn funny? We know the
on
answer.
the Fighter and Kid?
You know, the Fighter and the Kid.
He's very funny.
No, he's not.
Oh, come on. You don't even listen to the podcast. You get your information from the community.
Another lawsuit.
No, you should be listening to the Fighter and the Kid.
Is this how you expected this episode to go today, or no?
Yes,
You did?
I did.
Well, then good on you for showing up.
That was nice. That actually warmed my heart a little bit. Good for Matan for acknowledging that. Because it was, Bryan knew what he was walking into, at least to an extent. And he knew he was going to get those Brendan Schaub questions, and he handled it the best he could, I guess. So, yeah, good for him for showing up, and good for Matan for bringing it. I thought he did a good job with the interview.
It's actually one of my new favorite shows, that Matan show. I really like it.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think there is an element where sometimes he tries to appease Reddit a little too much.
I'll get over that.
But yeah, he's only a 17-year-old kid, for God's sake.
Right. He hasn't done his time in the barrel yet. Once his time comes and he does his time in the Reddit barrel, he'll be like, yeah, maybe I won't listen to these guys.
He had a great, Callen goes, I don't think you're actually 17. He goes, how old do you think I am? And Callen goes, 21. And he goes, well, that's not a big difference. Like, it's a hilarious answer to be like, well, maybe I am 21, but that's basically the same as 17.
Exactly the same. When you get, it's exactly the same. All right, Mike, you ready for some Big J Oakerson?
Yeah, this is a quick one. I just wanted to touch on it because we love Big J here. This is not shitting on Big J in any way. I truly think we had evidence last week that Big J might watch shows like this. I don't know if he's ever tuned into the Blind Mike Project, but I know he's caught coverage of the Dabbleverse and Dabbleverse related shows. So I wanted to put this out there as a help to my friend Big J, because we all have crutches. I have them, and I wish I could name them right now, but the fact that I can't think of them is why I still do them. Like, I forget what mine are. Casey's is saying "heyo" after every joke.
Heyo.
There you go. Yeah, we all have crutches that people point out. I've never noticed one that happens this rapidly. So we'll ease into the water. We'll dip our toe in on the bonfire, and then we'll show you an example, just the most recent example, and it's not the most egregious that I've heard. But first, let's hear Bobby calling out Big J for what his crutch is.
All right. I think that's the beginning of the bonfire, correct? Yes. Hold on one second. I didn't know when he started that. Here we go.
I say to all the white people, in the spirit of Black History, even a woman gets it first. Christine, happy Black History Month. DJ Lou, happy Black History Month. Bobby, happy Black History Month. Jacob, happy Black History Month. How are you celebrating? Eating peanut butter in front of an air conditioner? Those are all black things, just so you know. You don't even probably know that because you don't know about Black history.
I didn't know that. Is that a black thing?
And Black Lou, happy Black History Month, my man.
To you as well. So.
Hell yeah. What do we have to do? Listen to Farrakhan speeches?
This is...
sorry. So this is the 30 seconds before. Here's the time you wanted, 30
All
seconds.
right.
Bring up some Farrakhan speeches,
Just giving you some context here.
please, for Black History Month. We have an awesome guest in studio with us today. He's been coming in when you had to be out, Bobby, before, so it's rare we get to all hang out together, everybody. Of course, you can check out his podcast, Dad Meet, wherever you listen to podcasts. He's also going to be at Wise Guys in Vegas, March 7th and 8th, everybody. It's the great, hilarious Tim Butterly. Let's go!
You do.
Back on land.
I gotta say something. You do say everybody a lot.
Do I?
Buddy, you say you didn't, and you gave me shit for it, but you say everybody.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
And you just went everybody.
It's panic.
Why panic?
I don't know.
You're so good at this.
I start talking fast, and I want to make sure
It is weird. Like, Jay's been doing a radio show for 10 years now. He's a very good broadcaster. He's hilarious. And there's this nervous tick that he has when he's introducing people.
And he just can't get rid of it, or what?
He not only can he not get rid of it, I've heard him twice deny he's doing it.
As
he goes,
he's
no,
doing
that's ridiculous. I don't say everybody that much.
Everybody, I don't do this, everybody. It's fucking hilarious. And by the way, go back to the intro if you want a little
Everybody.
Well,
Blow
yeah,
it.
we'll hear another example. But
So I say everybody in intros a lot.
All right.
It hurt so much when I started doing intros
Yeah.
at Skanks, and I just look, and just Lewis is next to me, and he goes, and I was,
shout out to DJ Lou is one of the best producers as far as like drops and stuff goes. It's masterful timing. But yeah, so they bring it up here, and Bobby calls him out for saying, "You told me you didn't do it." I'm hearing everybody all the time. So I've heard examples. Me and the Skirt watch Story Wars, where Big J, like we've laughed at how often he's saying everybody to the point where she's like, he's doing it on purpose now. But I'm telling you, he isn't. So I just went to the most recent example, the intro of the Legion of Skanks podcast from this past week, where you hear Tim Butterly's on it again, and you'll hear Jay, like, let's count do we have a sound we can make every time he says everybody?
It's already edited into the video.
All right, excellent. Perfect.
Nice.
So we're going to get an everybody count going. This is, I've heard a lot of people with crutches. I've never heard it quite like this.
It's
Can I get it up my headphones a little bit? What's up, everybody? This is Legion of Skanks podcast. We're coming to you from the Stand Comedy Club, everybody. And the Skanks
that's
are all
what we'll
here. Of course, to my right, we got Davey Smith.
Hello.
To my left, as always, the Puerto Rican rattlesnake, Louis J. Gomez.
Okay, he's made it through a couple sentences.
Work on our podcasting, king of things. You know what the fuck's up, baby boy.
And I am Big J. Oakerson. Together we are the legendary Legion of Skanks. What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us today. Came on a very, very good night, everybody. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about in two.
Why does he keep,
Amazing
in the same sentence, he'll say it multiple times?
It's such a good word, though, when you're around people. Everybody.
Guest, everybody.
I
Our
never
first
say that.
guest.
He said it again. What was that, Electra? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, I never say that. And he says it like 5 times already in this little intro.
Amazing fucking guest, everybody. Our first guest coming, you know him from the Dad Meet podcast, and of course, Tim Butterly Show on YouTube, everybody. How about it?
That one was
Everybody.
Hilarious. Tim Butterly.
Hey.
This is a 40-second clip. If we did the everybody drinking game, we'd be shit-faced.
Yes, I think it was 6 times or 7 times.
If you were to take a shot every time you said everybody, you'd be hammered in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, don't invite me to that drinking game. I'm banned
And it
from all
keeps going,
drinking games
Mike.
in the future.
This one is called More. It keeps
Oh,
going.
yeah, so that was just him introducing Jason Ellis.
Yeah.
Now he introduces Tim Butterly, and we get a couple more.
Or the vice versa. I think now he does Ellis, yeah.
Hello, everybody. It's great to see you.
What's up, buddy? What's
Tim
up,
Butterly, I
Tim?
think, knows what he's doing there.
Yes. I think this was after the bonfire. So
Our second guest, everybody, returning to the show. It's been a while, everyone. You know him from.
So 8.5 because he did an
I
every
count
one.
everyone. I count
yes,
everyone.
me too.
Yeah.
I counted it as a half on the scoreboard here, but yes.
The brainchild behind Ellis Mania. You know him from the Hawk vs. Wolf podcast and the Jason Ellis Show. How about it for the hilarious Jason Ellis?
That was 8.5 in under.
No, there's 9. You can't tell because the music kicks in. He gets one in under the wire. It's muffled by the music. It's 9.5.
9.5. Congratulations. That is quite the fucking count. That is amazing.
So yeah, this is I love Big J, and I think he's a great broadcaster. But that crutch is so obvious. By the way, put mine in the comments because I forget what mine are. I have a bunch.
Somebody said your glasses.
I don't think that's it.
Somebody said there's like a snarl or a grunt or something. I was reading. What do they call it?
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah, put it in the chat, people. We will let
the blind Mike snarl, the ultimate
might not
crutch.
be the best idea you ever had.
I'm like snarl. I don't know. I'd have to hear it.
I don't know that one either.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't really know any. I honestly watch you a lot. There's not a lot of
I'm
crutches.
sure I have them. When they come up, people will notice. But might be one. I do that fairly often.
Okay.
We all have them. But Jay's is so I've never heard it in that rapid succession before. So as a viewer, since Jay watches, I wanted to help him and just point that out. So hopefully we break them of this. If you go to a Story Wars episode, there are people that timestamp the everybody's, and some of them are like 5 seconds apart. It's madness.
Jay, I say double and triple down. Every other word. Just fuck these people. Just live your life. Everybody free.
It would be a lot easier to get through. Like the Ojeda drinking game, we spent an hour watching Ojeda. We could just do 5 minutes of skanks. Play the
done.
Big J drink.
Wasted. All right. Would you like to do the heckler versus comedian? This is pretty long.
Yeah, it is pretty long.
And we
Who's
still
Mike
got
Tirico?
Steel Toe.
Let's skip it for now. Who's Mike Tirico? Did you just ask that?
Yes,
Yeah.
she did ask that.
He's the broadcaster for NBC Sports.
Okay, because someone said sounding like Mike Tirico isn't a crutch.
Me sounding like Mike Tirico, really?
I don't put that together.
I don't hear that, but he's
Maybe
got
Tirico on
good pipes.
Tirico on a bender, like a Vegas bender after like two packs of cigars.
I'm more like Tirico when it comes to dealing with interns. I follow them home. And...
Congratulations. All right,
Well
are we ready then? So, do you want to
skip? We'll skip Natalie Cuomo for now and see how much time we have left at the end. But skip her for now.
All right, no problem. So the next thing is if you want to do the Ethan Klein little quick bit.
Oh yeah, so you were presenting this to me because I've always disliked Ethan Klein, but don't know a ton about him. So you sent me this, and I said, "Yeah, give me." I didn't feel like doing anything by the time you sent it to me, so I was like, "Give me whatever background information you have, and we'll talk about this." Because Ethan Klein is such a hateable guy. We talked about him a few months ago when he was going at Andrew Schultz. And my biggest problem with him, I'm sure a lot of people don't like his politics or whatever. I don't really give a shit about that. My problem with him is more the weasel nature he goes about it, where he likes certain people or dislikes certain people and then will flip on them when the timing is right. You know, like the way he did with the Nelk Boys, where he shit all over them. Then he has the Nelk Boys on and goes, "I didn't really hate you. I hated Andrew Schultz. Will you shit on Andrew Schultz with me?" Yeah. And so, like, he's just a slimy weasel about it. And also, he goes on these tangents that he doesn't back up at all. Like, he goes after Rogan and guys like that. But then he'll have Tom Segura on his podcast and be buddy-buddy with him and never bring up anything about Rogan. So I think he's a complete weasel. But let's see what he's up to lately. So he's reporting people on YouTube?
Yeah, so he's come out of the retirement, semi-retirement, and it's turned into, like, a mini Red Bar in his community. He wants to, like...
Oh, really?
So he's going after bigger streamers. So what you just described, he's doing with like Hassan Piker, a guy he brought to everyone. He's now turned on him and he's calling him a terrorist supporter. And there's all this sort of political nonsense. Who cares about?
So he's kind of been broken by Trump, basically, right?
Well, broken by politics and just because he jumps on different sides of things. Sometimes he's super liberal. Sometimes he's like a hardcore Israeli supporter. So that's the only thing he cares. And his wife, oh my God, you need to do a whole thing on her. She was best friends with that lady that you and Carl cover, Trisha Paytas, on Who Are These Socials. So she is a whole piece of work, kind of like a Hilaria Baldwin. but like times 10. So put her on your radar.
Yeah.
Sure.
So my thing with the H3 podcast, like neither of them seem particularly likable.
No.
Every time I've checked them out, they just seem so dreadfully boring that I can't. Like we were just talking about Brendan Schaub. Schaub is like dumb in an entertaining way, in my opinion. The H3 podcast is hard for me to get through. They just seem so. I'm stunned at how successful they are. And again, I don't watch a lot, so maybe there's more to it that I just don't get. I'm sure there's a reason people like them. But it seems dreadfully boring. Like they both seem so monotone and void of anything interesting. But then when I see Ethan Klein on Twitter, he's making these wild, like he's just going at people and being so nasty in such a tone that he doesn't seem to have on the podcast.
And so what we're watching here is there was a show called Do Not Worry Podcast, and they basically shit on him, kind of like we're kind of doing right now.
Okay.
And he basically, him and his wife are now scrubbing through all the shows, looking for anything they can report, and they go live and they show us how they do.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. By the way, all the people that shit on like Us or shows like Red Bar or any Carl, any shows like that make fun of other shows. I'll tell you what we don't do is this. We don't try and get people's fucking livelihoods taken away the way Ethan Klein apparently is.
And just one more thing of context, because the video was taken down in this video, the authors of this video at Do Not Worry Podcast said they didn't say anything at all about terrorism or Israel or any of that. They just made fun of Ethan Klein. So keep that in mind when you're watching.
Oh, that is like terrorism. That's a lot like, yeah.
Yes, that's why this clip is amazing. Here we go.
I apologize to...
You're hearing his man wife there.
Do you see what I mean? In the first three, painfully boring. Like, that is a voice that'll put you to sleep.
I apologize to Bertilicious Do Not Worry number 130 on YouTube.
I am proudly reporting this guy for, let's see, promotes terrorism.
Roll the dice. What can I choose?
Kind of. I don't know if that's
kind of terrorism.
The most accurate. Does promote terrorism.
Inciting hate.
Violent.
I remember I was very young, but I remember on 9/11 I was like, "Is this terrorism?" They said I would know it when I saw it, but I can't decide.
Yeah, disagreeing with him politically is terrorism.
I think terrorism is it's like pornography. You know it when you see it. You know you don't have to have this long debate. Was that terrorism? Was the guy in New Orleans terrorism? I can't decide.
This just reeks of Stutt Joe, man. Like they all have meetings or something because this is
rare.
The same thing.
This is pretty rare though. You don't see a guy of Ethan's success like the H3 podcast. Whatever you think about it, they're very successful, right?
Yes.
So you don't see a guy of that magnitude resorting to this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, clearly false reporting live. Like it's not even debatable.
Hateful or abusive?
Yeah.
I feel like it's even worse than that.
It's worse than hateful.
It's like he's adding toppings to an ice cream sundae. Do I want peanut butter and chocolate?
Yeah. A little disinformation on the side. Yeah.
It's hate or violence. So that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
I'm helping clean YouTube up.
Oh, yes.
Enjoy. Right here. Exactly. Should I write something?
I think you have to.
How
about saying something? You're on a fucking podcast.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy in his hands? I don't. You can't see the mic.
Should I write something?
God damn, this guy's a weirdo, man. Just a
weirdo. Watch the following minute from this timestamp.
They were mean to me.
I like that he's writing a bio for this segment to YouTube. Watch the following minute.
You might have seen
it contains laughs and violent acts, which is why we can't decide if it's terrorism or not.
And cheering on violence against civilians and supporting acts of terror.
Just using all the buzzwords, you know?
Supporting acts of... I have to do this when the Tonight Show claims a video that I use on Why You Laugh. He's doing the same thing. He's like, no, this is transformative content. We're using the terrorism in a fun way. It's newsworthy.
Really shutting down debate over here, Ethan Klein. God damn it.
This terrorism was done in a documentary style.
We only use portion of the terrorism in our total.
No one can confuse this with the original terrorism.
Yes, it's for a different terrorist audience, and so.
Nice. Ethan, do you know what the damage you just did to the people of Gaza by reporting him? Do you have any idea how far back you've sent our movement?
He's Mike Daviding out right here.
Do you
Mike
know
David,
he's
I haven't listened to Red Bar in a while, but I remember Mike David making me laugh and throwing in,
yeah.
throwing in a few witticisms.
He didn't just like tweak his wrist around and look at his hand for 30 seconds. Oh,
Who is he? What is the commenting he's doing? Is he being like us watching it, criticizing him? Where he's like, "Oh, you guys think you probably think I'm crazy."
Yeah, no, he's the other side is criticizing.
Right.
Oh, they're gonna say that I'm shutting down speech because they don't agree with me, but they're just terrorists.
They're
You
gonna
can't
think I'm
agree-
doing exactly what they're watching me do.
Yes, and say and film and put on the air.
considering going to Gaza before you reported him?
Just so happy about that reporting that I thought when I saw that I'm like, that's down Mike's lane because anyone that's a stunt show.
And I do hate Ethan Klein. So if people have more, so he's doing this like full time now? Has he changed the format of his podcast?
Well, as you said, I ain't watching the full podcast, but it is. So he did what they called a nuclear attack on Hassan Piker, which was, for all intents and purposes, a Mike David production, a Red Bar production, but with no comedy. But it was like I'm taking him down, and then like that video has been just disproven immediately. So he's sort of in a crazy space, but very litigious. And I think we all streamers sort of weirdly owe him a thank you because he sort of set the landmark case in 2016 for fair use that helps us say things on this thing and show videos on this thing. So it's weird that he's regressed back to
Ethan Klein
blocking people. Yeah. Ethan Klein was involved in a lawsuit where someone sued him over sort of like the same sort of stuff Stuttering John sues people over, and he's now trying to sue people over, and he won.
That's what's weird about this guy is there are videos where I was like, maybe he's not so bad back in the day, but it seems like his brain is melted a little bit.
Yeah.
Where it's like, how can you think this is good for everyone? I remember the famous pizza shop analogy where Kevin Brennan was like rooting for channels to go down. And he's like, hey, if you open a pizza shop across from mine, I want your pizza shop to burn down or whatever the fuck he said. And I was like, no. You're actively burning down the other pizza shops. And now someone might seek revenge on you. So it's amazing a guy of Ethan, like Kevin Brennan's just an idiot who doesn't get that stuff. A guy of Ethan Klein's level of success you'd think would have an understanding about that. So I'm glad he's humiliating himself like this. And I look forward to looking at more. So if you guys know more about Ethan Klein, like I said, he exhausts me too much to really do a deep dive. I can do, if Stuttering John goes live for 3 hours, I can find clips of that standing on my head. It's a breeze. Finding clips like that of Ethan Klein are just so arduous where I have to listen to the whole show. So if you guys have any examples like that, let me know, and maybe we'll talk about Ethan Klein and his obvious meltdown going forward.
And that wife. Find some videos of that wife.
The wife is podcast poison, as I like to say. Like that is, I don't understand how they had a successful show. Is she... Ethan Klein, I get, at least has opinions that are polarizing and he can put a sentence together. Did she ever add anything to that show? She sounds horrendous.
No, she is the female equivalent of a Clearwater Chad on his network, I believe.
Oh,
like just
God.
a voice. It's just a voice coming back at him. But yes, are we ready? Speaking of idiots, are we ready for some toe?
Yes, we haven't checked on Steel Toe in a while. It's been a little while, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's the same nonsense going on over there, but we just haven't checked in.
I've missed Aaron greatly, and that's because I suffer from STD'S. You want to know what that is? You're about to find out, gang. Aaron has a new bit that he has been really running into the ground. Casey, you've heard me use the phrase "less is more." Yes,
so many times.
I'm not necessarily a big fan. Even like today, "Thank you, OJ" was in the intro, and I was like, I feel like we're over it. The guy has moved on with his life. Let him live.
DJ just like Japan. She's like a week behind. Next week it won't be there.
Yeah. So
I'm over it.
We don't need to drive everything into the ground, but boy, Aaron really knows how to hammer home a joke. This is a bit that if he said it once, I'd be like, Aaron, that's not bad. But listen to how often he brings this fucking thing up. It's exhausting. And there's also a new twist on the leaderboard. You guys remember the leaderboard, right?
Oh, yes.
Aaron, guys, act now. Because quite frankly, I don't think you can afford not to be on the leaderboard. So hurry up and get over there to the Steel Toe Morning Show. Let's see what Aaron's up to.
It must have been the 1 1/4 beers I had during the evening show last night. The evening show got weird. The evening show definitely got strange last night. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan decided
Aaron
to...
talks like a 16-year-old girl. Where what he's referring to is people donated a lot of money on the evening show, I guess. And he's like, oh my God, it's got so weird. Everything, it was so crazy when you guys were I can't even talk about it. It was so weird what happened last night. It's like, yeah, man, people donated. That's your whole goal, right? Why is that so weird? Why are you acting like this? Why are you acting like a high schooler?
Fuck everybody. It's his Chad Buzamok top donations board. Adam Simon decided he...
Have you ever heard that before? Did you catch what he just said?
Chad Buzamok's board, like he's paid so much he owns.
You're missing one word.
What word?
I have never heard this. Is this new, or have I just missed it every time we've talked about it? That is the Chad Buzamok Tonations leaderboard.
I did not catch Tonations.
Aaron is accepting Tonations.
Okay. All right.
Aaron, I give Aaron credit. He goes back to the drawing board every day and says, how can I make this seem douchier? If people think I'm maximum douchebag potential right now, but I know there's more. There's more to squeeze out of this douche lemon that I've got here. How can I do tonations? What pun could I make out of that?
Now I have him just sitting there with AI all night. Oh, tornado. It's a tornado. Oh, okay.
Guys, there's a tornado coming through.
He's gonna use that. God damn it. We're giving him things.
He was going to come in and compete. So we had a little bit of a race going on. That race is not done. People were throwing so much money at us last night. I had to up the ante for
weird.
prizes on the...
You guys are so weird. Why'd you give me so much money? That's so weird and crazy of you.
Chad Buzamok top donations board. Whoever comes in first at the end of the week, at the end of Friday.
Come on, guys. Pony up your donations. What do you say?
Throw them a hoodie, a shirt, and a mug.
Whoa,
Second place.
Whoa. Aaron, there's a word in there that you might want to change. You said a hoodie, shirt, or a mug, right? You're not giving them all away for the low price of $350. Aaron, don't you tell me your deals are that good that if I give $350 to $400 over the course of a week, you're going to send me a shirt, a hoodie, and a mug?
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine going to, let's say, Dick's Sporting Goods or something like that? Walking up to the counter, you put on it a shirt, a hoodie, and a mug. And the young lady behind the counter says, that'll be about $375, please.
With tax.
What a fucking scam. Aaron's like, what junk around my... I will say this. It's an upgrade from Twister.
Yes. Well, he sold out of those, Mike. So he has to.
But so in Aaron's mind, people are like, oh, I have to give $200 more this week so I can get my hands on that mug. Mm-hmm. They can just buy it for less money on your website, right? Aren't these items for sale? How is this winning anything? They could buy it for less money. And Aaron's deal is, hey, guys, pay triple what you would pay, and I'll send you these items. And you get to be on the Toe Nations leaderboard.
Yeah, you're paying
Can we call it gratuities here?
That's not a bad start. I think we could do better, but it's not a bad start. Gratuities. I like it.
I'm going to throw them a hoodie, and third and fourth, I'm going to give them each a mug. That's what we're going to do. This is what the Chad Buzamok top donations board.
So for only like $150, I get a mug. That's perfect for me because I didn't want the shirt and the hoodie anyways. I really just had my eyes on that mug. So if I give Aaron $180, I've locked up that mug. That's very exciting.
looks like.
Aaron, you have to think, first of all, take these off your website. Make them collector's items. You can't have the option for people to go buy them for cheaper. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Unless he's sending like the mug's full of money. Here's a mug full of $280.
Yes, inside the mug is a full refund. And that's
Numero uno. Josh Denny fan is in first at $353. Like I said, it got weird.
What's so weird about that?
I don't know, but
I mean, yeah, it is weird. How great! Yeah, I take it back. Aaron actually is right. I'm being too hard on him. It is weird that some guy gave him $353, but like, he's like, oh my god, the show got so nuts. Imagine if I was like, hey, you have to listen to Matt and Shane's secret podcast. It got fucking insane, and you're like, all right, well, I don't have a ton of time. Give me a summary. What should I be looking for? Oh, well, a bunch of people on their Patreon donate them money. Huh? Isn't that fucking weird?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, no, the show is the same as always, and just people gave them money. It's not that unusual.
Well, so people are in the chat are like, well, it's signed. Well, even if you buy a mug for $8 or it's signed by Aaron.
Oh, it's worth less.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's ruined.
Oh, I can't wear them now.
Adam Simon is in second at $297. Flinty Gecko is in third at $270, and Gray Duckling is hanging in there at $155. So thank you. Those
ketchup.
Mike, I used to give a lot more in super chats to small channels and stuff, and then I actually saw my bill one month, and I'm like, what the fuck? It adds up quick. This is not what you should be doing.
And how many
for your
fucking
people.
mugs did they send you?
None.
Those gutless pricks.
But you should not be letting people know how much of their monthly net is going to you. Like, let that.
Boy,
be
maybe I don't
mystery.
want that information out there.
Just like, oh God, 325. I really have no life. Fuck. Like, poor these people.
Their contributions are ridiculously important this week, as every dime we make goes to combat steel-toe derangement syndrome. And guys, I have to report from my inside sources, the disease may be worse than we.
Yeah, so Aaron is combating with the super chats and the Rumble rants and all that fun stuff. The goal this week is combating steel-toe derangement syndrome. Now, what's fun about that is it stands for STD'S. And some people, like Patrick Melton, have Aaron Imholt derangement syndrome, which Aaron has deemed full-blown AIDS. I do have to give it to him. As a man that likes wordplay, that's actually not bad. Like the fact that his name, the fact that he was able to line it up with AIDS, that's pretty good. Once. Maybe 2 or 3 times. Aaron has spent the entire week making this joke. And boy, does he fucking we got it, Aaron. The acronyms are STDs and AIDS. We get it. First of all, I don't know what the difference is between Steel Toe and Aaron Imholt. I kind of thought they were the same entity. But if you have one, you have Aaron Imholt derangement syndrome. If you have the other, it's Steel Toe. That's very different, apparently. But boy, did I hear this joke a lot, and I only watched this episode. So throughout the week, it must have been just nauseating to hear this that often.
Mike, when you got a stallion, you got to ride the hell out of it, you know? Just into the dirt till it can't live any longer. Rolling with the punches.
I don't remember any jokes I made earlier in this program. Could you imagine if I just kept repeating them for the next 3 hours?
I would think you like have a brain issue.
It'd be mind-numbing.
Get him to the hospital. Rolling with punches is this next one.
Oh, yeah, so Aaron is a guy who just goes with the flow, brother. And I'll tell you, the guys who are really angry are the guys that make fun of Aaron. I guess like us, he's never named us, but I assume we're in that category of guys that watch Aaron and are just like, oh, he's doing so well. I hate it. So that's guys like Carl and Patrick Melton, Tukey, Moody, and I assume I fit into that category as well. So maybe I can take some advice from Aaron here as to how you just go with the flow, brother.
I'm more of an STDs guy over the
Cocktiff says bad audio cutting in and out, and a bunch of pedos on YouTube. Yeah, they do that from time. That's another sign of steel-toed derangement syndrome. It's pretty bad. I
like when Aaron makes himself laugh. He's like, I am such a little ragamuffin. I am so adorable, aren't I?
He used to have a wife he made laugh. Not that.
Tells me that they really don't like this steel-toed derangement syndrome bit. So, guys, whatever you do, stop picking on them, please. Poe says, come on, chat. We know there are Band-Aids on them pepperonis. Number one, that is a cheap trick for you to get me to show my nipples. And number two, no, there are not.
Hold on. Imagine yelling that. You just want me to show my nipples.
So neighbors walking by with their dog at the window. Right? That's like, what the fuck's going on in there?
Oh, pepperonis.
What a prideful life Aaron leads.
And number three, they're not pepperonis.
You showed them, Aaron.
Oh,
Whoa.
man. Poe says it was fun when you rolled with the... not only am I rolling with the punches, I'm shoulder rolling and just smashing it with right hands.
Oh,
so,
man.
Poe, you gotta love it. Gotta love it, baby. I've even been...
As I mentioned, I was on WATP yesterday. Carl did seem a little woozy, and I couldn't figure out why. He's like, Mike, I know you don't see well, but are you seeing these stars right now? And I said, no. I didn't realize he probably has a concussion from being bashed over the head with steel-toed derangement syndrome.
Just do it.
I can't imagine. Carl here? I can't imagine, like, if someone said, hey, guys, say in the comments right now if you'd like. Electra will read it.
Okay.
If someone tells me that I have steel-toed derangement syndrome, I can't imagine my reaction being, "Duh, stop it! You knock it off! Stop saying that!" And I don't necessarily watch all these shows that comment on Aaron, but I got to tell you, if those exist, point me in that direction. Let me know where I can find them, because I would also cover the people that are like, "Stop saying I'm obsessed with Aaron. It makes me so mad." I'd love to cover that guy. It'll give me a break from covering Aaron. I'd love to cover the guy that reads a comment where it's like, hey, you have STDs. And they go, no, I do not.
Yeah,
I've
Hamilton
never heard
Berger says Blind Mike has STDs.
Hey, you stop it right now, Hamilton Berger. I know where you live, and I'm going to find you.
Hey, any burgeoning YouTuber out there, get on now and start doing this to Aaron, and we'll cover you. Blind Mike's looking for a guy.
I will, because I don't think it exists.
No,
I've listened to enough of This Little Piggy. I've been on a couple times. They talk about Aaron to a level that I necessarily wouldn't, but I've never heard them go, oh, God, he really owned us. Oh, it makes me so furious when he says I've got AIDS. I hate it so much. I've never heard these guys be angry about it.
No, it's all like Dylan from Somewhere show where they just have fun. Aaron's fun to make fun of. And so it's like a fun hang to get around and make fun of him. Yeah. No one has this. No one has what Aaron says people have.
Aaron, we'll do it together. Show me the clips of these guys like freaking out over you saying, hey, you have STDs, and them blowing a fucking gasket. We could do it together. Well, I'll go on your show and help you make fun of these assholes. Whatever you want. I'd love to make fun of that. I've just never found it in the wild.
Mm-hmm. We are anti-AIDS, Aaron.
Yes, we're trying to help you correct it. See how funny that is? The 40th time you've heard it?
Yes.
Dude, it's been fun.
All right, The Dream is up next.
It seems like Aaron's having a lot of fun. Let's hear about The Dream.
Doorman says, show the nips for tips, titty boy.
These are all different points in the show, by the way. It's just...
I dream of a day when my fans send me money because they like me. I dream of a day where my fans go, here's some money, Aaron. I enjoy the show you do. I dream of a day when someone throws $70 at me and knocks out half the goal in the first 15 minutes of the show.
Like Martin Luther King himself. I got an idea, Aaron, where you could just do a show. Don't stop every 8 minutes to go, I don't have pepperoni nipples. Stop combating that. Like, I don't look at the fucking comments. We read the super chats between segments. If they all became that, I probably wouldn't read them anymore because they'd get in the way of the show. Do a show, Aaron. And that your dreams will all come true. I like that Aaron's like, my greatest dream is that I do a show where I don't have to read mean comments about me. Do it. You're capable of that.
And then his dream, his goal only gets cut in half. Expand your dreams a little.
But Aaron is ruled by, he's like this fake macho guy, and Aaron is ruled by the people that, if he stopped reading, well, he couldn't. His whole business model is reading the chat. But like, if he just did a show and didn't read the comments, he is ruled by the people that would be like, see, Aaron's afraid of us. And Aaron wouldn't be able to help himself. He'd have to, no, I'm not. Look, I'll read them. And it's like, Aaron, fucking, people say nasty things about Theo Vaughn. He doesn't sit there for 2 hours and read the comments, you know?
No.
You got to get over it at some point.
Yeah, come on, man.
And it
I'm sure someone has accused Tim Dillon of having pepperoni nipples. But the man is otherwise successful. Somehow he's overcome that.
You get beyond it. You get
Yes.
past the Reddit trolls, hopefully.
the message, titty boy. That's all.
Ain't I cute?
I got to be honest. I don't know if I would have made it past the Reddit trolls if you didn't have examples out here doing it, like Carl, you, other people. Like, there are people out here can just do a show, have fun. Oh, trolls, who cares? Like, you have to have an example. And I don't think this guy had an example. He was out there on his own, and that's why he just loves chat. Can't get away from chat.
It's an obsession with chat. He reads the free chat all the time, which, like, I don't have a problem if there's a funny thing in the chat, you should absolutely read it. But if it adds to the show, you don't have to read like, hey, dang lizard says we started 3 minutes late today. Like, you don't have to read that. It doesn't add to the show at all. So Aaron stops his show every 6 minutes and he's like, I do not have pepperoni nipples.
Well, and you train your audience, right? So he's trained his audience that the banal should be talked about and his nipples should be talked about. You trained your audience, like, contribute something, we might throw it up. So it really has to do with, like...
Hold on a second. Box Eating Dad called us all gay, and I need to address this. I am not gay. I will fuck my girlfriend in front of you, Box Eating Dad. I'm anything but gay.
That's right.
Can we pay-per-view that, please? All right.
I just would rather, it. Hey, Aaron, good job. Hey, Aaron, you're doing great. Hey, Aaron, enjoying the hell. Somebody threw $5 at us yesterday and quoted an actual line that I said and said it made them laugh really hard. I appreciated
This is tough to
that.
watch.
And don't get me wrong, I appreciate $70. But when it comes with titty boy, shake them nips titty boy attached to it, it takes a psychological toll. Okay?
He does the cutesy where, like, oh my god, we're all just having fun with each other. Isn't it cute how well I'm taking this? Isn't that adorable? How awesome I'm rolling with the punches? But he's saying the real part, and that's like, why aren't you guys paying me and telling me how great I am? I'll tell you why, Aaron. That would be psychotic. If every caller to the Howard Stern show was like, hey, Howard, I'm really enjoying the program today. I'm just going to wire you $40. I got nothing to add. I don't want to make any jokes or nothing. I just want to say what a great job you're doing. Here's 40, all right? I'll call back next week with $50 if that's cool. It would be an insane way to do a show just reading compliments. You should only read the ones that make fun of you because those would be the closest to adding something to the program.
Yeah. And they're giving you $70. Listen, bring your $70 over to HACKRIDE Studio. We'll talk about DJ Electra's nipples all day long. I mean, come on. Why?
Right.
It's money.
Yes, you will.
Yeah.
We'll do that anyway.
For free.
Yeah.
MSO writes, keep dreaming. Approachable says, no, fuck that. Dance, monkey boy.
MSO, you dirty rat. He's always
MSO
looming.
I'm convinced MSO is he trained in ChatGPT bot to be his enemy. This is not a real thing.
No wonder he's evil. The AI is already taking over the world.
Yeah.
He's evil.
You could do that, by the way. You could make exactly what I said you could do, and it could put things up on your screen that were against you.
Don't give these maniacs any ideas.
Or if you'll change your shirt might help. Why do my fans treat me like I'm some kind of chick? Like they're ogling me. I feel sexually harassed.
Well, it's tough.
Sense
Tough
of
stuff.
humor.
As
is
the
next
great
one.
Rob Stahl said. Sense of humor. Okay, this is where you're gonna hear, like, again, Carl seemed so beaten down when I was talking to him yesterday, and I said, Carl, lighten up, man. Why can't you be more like Aaron? Like, Aaron just seems like a fun time where you're always like, oh, Aaron, Mike's on the show. I guess we'll talk about stuff, even though I have AIDS and STDs. I guess I'm just a fucking loser now. And I was like, stop it, you mope. Be more like Aaron. So Aaron's going to teach guys like Carl how to do that.
Holds on to InfoWars. Kyle with 199 says gynomastia is a pain in the butt.
He doesn't know what that is.
I'm one
Every
of the
reaction is the same. Like, oh, come on, guys. I am. I love when you razz me. Like, every action is exactly the same. Where he's like, he'll start reading and he says, gynecomastia is a pain in the. He kind of trails off at the end there, and he's like, you guys are such scamps. I can't believe you guys give me the business like this. We're all having a good time.
Sounds like your aunt who's smoking a cigarette.
This guy.
There is very like tipsy aunt at Christmas vibes. That's what Aaron is. Where he's like, we're all having fun, right? And everyone's like, oh, kind of just you, but glad you're enjoying yourself.
Whole podcast thing. I don't know where this. You know what it is? I have a sense of humor about it, and others get really mad and triggered and yelly about it. So I'm the most fun one to come to.
I don't watch Patrick Melton's show all the time. I assume if he got that angry every time someone called him fat or a hunchback, he would have blown his brains out by now, right? Isn't that all people say to him? Like, hey, you're fat. I think he takes it fine. They call him a pedophile. I think he's taking it somewhat in stride. Could he handle it better? I'm sure. I don't watch enough. Maybe he could. But like, are they handling it so badly that Aaron is like the pinnacle of how you handle getting made fun of, and all these guys are seething, as it would be. I wish I could be Aaron, but I'm so angry about the comments.
Josie in the chat says Aaron has teacher energy. I would add one thing. He has substitute teacher energy. He's really trying to impress the new class.
He's going to make learning fun. That's what Aaron's
Creepy. Creepy teacher energy, too.
Yeah. He's dropping a lot of pens in front of the 14-year-old girls, having them pick him up. Just saying. You know,
I got to say, we're pretty lucky because I make fun of Aaron pretty often. And I haven't had all these trolls in the chat accusing me of being riddled with AIDS. So I've gotten off pretty easy because who knows what I'd do? Oh, I'd get so mad if someone said that to me. So I consider myself pretty lucky that I haven't dealt with what these guys have had to deal with.
Got a new nickname for you, Mike. AZT Mike. What do you think? Mike?
You stop it! No, that's not funny. Electra, stop laughing. Knock it off. Back to Aaron. You don't make fun of me here. That's mean.
Mussolini Diff with $2.
Mussolini Diff is my favorite chatter.
So many good chatters.
But yeah, it's so delusional to be like, they're all handling it so poorly, and I'm handling it so well.
Yes. This one's called Having Fun, which Aaron always has.
Having a good time.
Get married, have children, develop a purpose. That's, by the way, our studies have also found that having a family and a life not only leads you away from steel-toe derangement syndrome, it seems to be the vaccine.
We got it.
It also makes you more likely
We got
to be
it.
a
The
steel-toe
letters
fan.
fit. It's STDs. We get it, Aaron. It's been a week of this. We understand. The letters fit perfectly. You nailed the joke. It's pretty good. I appreciate the joke. Let it sit. And then we, our own, can go, hey, Aaron had a pretty good snipe at them. He said they've got STDs. That's kind of funny, right? We get to say that. You don't have to fucking drill it into our brains. Here's another symptom of steel-toe derangement syndrome. We got it. It's exhausting.
Well, this is where, like, you know, musicians are different because every night it's Hotel California from the Eagles, baby. So for Aaron, maybe it's like every day it's the same thing.
I like the idea of Aaron getting on the stage. You know what they've got, folks? And the crowd yells, STDs!
STDs!
And because you're a real human being with full development. So that is another thing we've been learning. So again, thank you guys very much for your contributions. JS has really bad steel-toe derangement syndrome. He's had it all week. And by the way, I hate to break character, but we've been very tongue-in-cheek and very funny about steel-toe.
I don't know if you guys caught it, but I'm being so cute with it.
Break character.
I hate to break character, but look how cute I'm being, everybody. Like, Aaron wants a pat on the head. He has to break character so we can all go, very good, Aaron. That was really funny.
The derangement syndrome. JS treats it seriously, like we're accusing him of having like smallpox or something. He's like, Aaron is the kid in school getting beat up and having his lunch money taken every day, then yelling, you guys do this because you're obsessed with me.
Hold on. Why are you giving that guy the angry voice? He's actually kind of making a decent point. Like, all these guys are making fun of you, and Aaron is saying, you're all making fun of me because you've got STDs. And you expect us to go, that is so charming, Aaron. Okay, we've switched to your side. We like you now. We don't like any of these guys. It's like we were talking about earlier with John, where it's like, I think Aaron thinks one by one, he's converting Melton fans and Tukey fans and WATP fans. He's winning them all over. And slowly they're going, I want more AIDS jokes. That's pretty good. Why doesn't Carl do anything like that? I was on for 2 hours yesterday. Carl didn't have one fucking acronym joke. And that's why I left. I said I had other plans. I said I got to be out of here at 4. I was lying. I gave him 2 hours. I said, if there are no acronym jokes, I'm walking.
Yep. Disappointing.
He didn't give you a WAP, a wood-ass paneling? That would have been a good acronym.
That's fun.
Terrible analogy, because I'm the one kicking you in the nuts every day, and you come here early in the morning to yell at me your feelings.
Oh, my nuts.
I would...
My nuts have been kicked because Aaron made a funny quip.
This guy needs to get laid, I think. What's going on with Aaron?
Well, he talks about Slam Piece. Don't you worry.
Okay. Say that you're probably the bullied kid, but at the same time, you do understand the psychology around bullying, right? It's people hiding big-time psychological damage. So I hate to show you this, JS, but that was...
Hold on. Aaron wins either way. It's crazy how that works out like that. Whether Aaron is the bully or the victim, he's winning. That's amazing. How has he figured that out?
That's narcissism, Mike.
No. He's made it work so that all these people are losing no matter what happens. That's pretty impressive.
It's literally always a win for the toe. Always.
It is. I'm impressed by it. I wish I could do that.
It's kind of a self-own. Sorry about that, pal. I
like that vaudeville kind of a cell phone. Anyways, have you seen this? You heard about this?
He worked the Catskills with this one.
When they try to come back, because them not being very intelligent, it's very easy to just sidestep them. They run their own dumb heads into a brick wall. It's fun to watch.
Aaron is like a bullfighter.
Mike, there's a war brewing.
Oh, no. Oh, don't tell me.
Thank you, Gray Duckling. Creating a little distance between you and Doorman.
Oh, no.
Doorman is at 155. Gray Duckling is at 165.
Whoa, hold on.
Holy shit.
Those two numbers are pretty close.
Very.
I hope. Oh, God. I'm remembering Oppenheimer. I'm remembering what Oppenheimer said about the nuclear bomb. I think this could get pretty ugly if these two don't resolve their tensions.
They're battling it out for 4th place. Does Adam Simon make a move on numero uno? Because numero uno's big on Rumble Friday, so he might make a move there.
Yeah, that's true. Numero uno, his impact is felt on Rumble Fridays. We all know that. This episode was from Thursday. You can't expect numero uno to come in on a Thursday. Like, he shows up to play on Friday. Thursday is kind of his off day, you know?
They're fighting to get on the medal stand. Number 4.
It's like when they have NFL games on a Saturday. You're like, this isn't right. Like, they haven't had enough time to recover.
Aaron, can I suggest the BCS system? Just the top 2 teams. That's all you need. You don't need a 12-team playoff. It really.
Yeah. Who in their right mind is like, I need to overtake Gray Duck. Here's $200. I need that mug. Just go buy the mug for $20.
And you're 400 behind number one. Just go buy the $8 mug. Like,
Is Aaron? I'd hate to be wrong about this. Is Aaron no longer selling that merch on his website?
Oh,
he
he's
must
got
be,
to
right?
No, there's.
So
I
what is
won't
the
even have to look.
incentive for someone giving $100 to overtake Gray Duckling?
Mike, it's signed.
Buy the mug and write Aaron Imholt on it. You're not going to bring it to a collector who puts on his fucking glass. Wait a second. I'm friends with a steel toe expert. I'm going to bring him in to examine this signature. It's going to sit on my shelf for 6 months. I don't know if there's a market for it.
I'm just picturing that goddamn pawn shop with this all going on, and Patrick Melton walks in as the expert. All right, let me take a look at this. Let me see this signature.
No, Aaron doesn't make his A's like that. He goes with the. He doesn't make the cursive A.
I have a full room of these signatures. 2 seconds, I'll spot it.
Adam Simon is only $56 away. Flinty Gecko is only $83 away from numero uno.
Hey,
So
Flinty
we could
Gecko,
see-
just give $83, and you'll get a shirt along with your mug. Why not?
Which I will write on your shirt. Which also doesn't make sense. Why would you autograph a shirt?
a war yet.
All right, just teasing.
I don't like this. When Trump is out there talking about the Gaza Strip and all this stuff. I don't like so much war talk. What scares me even more about the future is the idea of Flinty Gecko and Gray Duckling going at it. That's got combustible written all over it.
Nuclear war has started.
Sorry, what is this one?
Just teasing.
Oh, listen, Aaron's just having a good time, just like us. He's just a guy hanging out.
Although,
but we got a lady. He doesn't.
When you're triggered as fuck that someone's daughter made them a shirt and that makes you angry.
Oh,
you're mad
God.
that a guy.
It was real. I hate to keep bringing up Carl yesterday, but I was just on the show. It was fucking annoying, and I assume Lucy and producer Chris were kind of rolling their eyes, but they're probably used to it at this point. They just go with it. When Carl was like, "God damn it! Why is Aaron teasing me so much? This guy is always teasing me, and I hate it."
Still going to his little hobby payment gig to teach people how to box today. Maybe I can't find you a cure.
Oh,
There
Aaron's
might be a
boxing
cure.
career is infuriating me again.
By the way, unboxing Aaron. I see what you did there, Carl. at 2.
Might be a rope. I don't know. No, I mean like a jump rope, athletic activity. It might help you.
Oh, Aaron's telling
might
people to
help
hang themselves. That's nice.
Guys, don't get mad.
Seems like a guy who's just having a good time, telling people to off themselves. Seems like a guy's just having fun with it.
Here's how you tie the knot.
Don't just calm down. You see us all having a good time.
Brooks was here.
Take it in the nature it's intended. You're just being teased. I do find it funny
when he looks into getting Patrick Melton locked up for pedophilia. It's just Aaron having a good time. He's just messing around. When these things get to the angle of litigation, that's just a guy having fun, you know?
Yeah. It's just a guy opening his wallet, giving a lawyer $5,000. No big.
Just having just cool breeze in his hair, that crisp summer air. He's just a guy hanging out and having fun.
What's a retainer amongst friends?
Exactly.
All, you know?
Exactly.
People can be like, I want to destroy his life. I want to destroy everyone around him. And then we giggle at you and you go, how fucking dare they? Guys, have you ever heard the words high strung? Bring it down for us.
Aaron, I'm begging you. I know those guys say, Aaron, play the clip all the time. They're like, what's the example of this? Aaron, you don't have to. I'll strike a deal with you. I'm willing to work with you, unlike these bastards. Send it to me, and I'll play it and make fun of them. You don't have to get your hands dirty. I would love to make fun of these guys for going, oh, I hate that Aaron boxes. I hate it so much that he has a hobby. I'd love to make fun of that video. So please send it to me. You don't have to do it if you're uncomfortable with it, whatever. If you want to stay above that, I'll get down and dirty for you, Aaron. I would love to make fun of these assholes. I just can't for the life of me. And I've been looking. I can't find the video of them going, oh, that dastardly Aaron has got us again.
It doesn't exist, Mike. That's why. We could make it, though.
I'm going to continue looking.
Some AI clips coming your way. This one's called Coping.
Yeah, they've all obviously been coping. And that, to be clear, this title is titled coping. I'm talking about all the guys who make fun of Aaron. They're coping. That's not exactly what Aaron is doing in this clip. Just to be clear, I know that could be confusing because we labeled it coping. We're referring to the people that Aaron is talking about, not Aaron's explanation of those people.
Gotcha.
I have the ability that, and again, this is in my studies of steel-toe derangement syndrome. A lot of people don't have the ability to admit that getting up early in the morning to watch this show means you're a fan. It means you enjoy it. They have to come up with these copes. They have to lie to themselves. They're not fooling me. I just watch it to laugh at you. Well, what do you think my OGs do? They watch it to laugh at me. It's a comedy show. We're not taking ourselves seriously. So if you're watching it to laugh at me,
there might be a little coping there. But overall, this is what I was just saying. I was on with the Unrelated Show boys yesterday, and they asked me about Brendan Schaub. And I said, I got to admit, I am a Brendan. It would be crazy of me to say I hate Brendan Schaub when he's brought me so much enjoyment. Like, I am technically a fan. I don't enjoy him in the way that he probably wants people to, but that's just how I enjoy it. Like, I'm amused by him. So Aaron is right. Like, I would say, you know what? Aaron might be onto something. It actually does pain me to say this. In a way, like, I'm a fan of the Steel Toe show. I don't get the enjoyment that he wants me to get out of it, but I'm enjoying this. So Aaron is right, but there's no one really refuting it. Like, no one's like, shut up, Aaron. Stop saying I'm a fan. Like, no one really gives a fuck. So this is a straw man argument he is posing, but he still has to pepper in things that make him wrong. I apologize for my voice today, by the way, but I'm getting through it. But he has to pepper in these little things. He's like, people laugh because I'm funny. It's like, oh, no, you were almost there. Like, what he should say is, like, whether you're laughing at the show, whether you're laughing with me or at me, it doesn't matter. Like, it all counts the same at the end of the day. I'm still getting those views. You guys are getting something out of this show. That's true, and I would say that. Like, if you guys hate this show, but you watch every week, that's terrific. Like, that's perfectly okay. You're allowed to do that. Aaron has to pepper in, but they're really enjoying it because I'm so brilliant. It's like, well, leave that part out, maybe.
You're a fan of the show and what we're trying to do. Congratulations. No, I'm just watching you.
Well, let's flush that out to the end. Blind Mike, you said you're a Steel Toe fan with some caveats. Are you a Stuttering John fan?
Yeah. Yes.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
But again, I don't.
You've done something here today.
None of these people have, like, good qualities.
No, horrible monsters.
Fan is just short for fanatic. Like, people I avidly follow, and I do follow them. I'm not like, oh, they're role models for my children someday.
Yes.
But I do enjoy watching them, yeah.
That's honest, and I agree. I'm the same way. I hate watch more than I love watch things. So yeah.
Downfall. Well, we're not downfalling. So that's a lie. That's cope, as they say. Cap and cope. Cap and cope. Capicola. Capicopola.
What's
is another sign of steel-toe derangement syndrome. It would be a lot easier if you could just admit and be honest with yourself. You wouldn't.
The hair dye got to the brain. Now he's back.
Be so hostile and angry all the time that you just love what we do. You're a fan. I'll give you an example. The View. Wouldn't I look like a fucking asshole if I sat here every day and went, I hate The View. I just watch it because I hate him so much and blah, blah, blah. That would be cope. That would be bullshit. I watch The View because
Aaron kind of does say that when he's not cornered himself into this. He calls them idiots and things. But like, this is kind of what I just said. I'm agreeing with Aaron here. It's amazing to agree with a man who isn't getting the point that he's making. That's what's fascinating about this.
Yeah, and then I saw in here Connie Lynn Gass says fans of Toe are called fats or fatties. So congratulations, Mike.
It applies.
Entertains me. I watch clips of The View because it makes me laugh. I get a kick out of it. I'm a fan. I don't like what they say. I don't agree with what they say. But the way in which it's presented is very entertaining. Same thing with Joy Reid. I watch clips of, if I thought Joy Reid sucked and I thought she was terrible, I would skip right past by Joy Reid clips. But I watch Joy Reid clips.
No, you do think she's, this is where you get a little delusional. No, you do think she's terrible. This is where he's wrong. It's like, if I think they've ever done anything bad, I wouldn't watch it. No. Now you're being disingenuous. You're only watching Joy Reid and The View so you can laugh at them. This is where Aaron is getting confused in his own analogy. He's like, no, I actually really respect Joy Reid. It's like, well, no. You were almost there. You were so close to having an honest moment. And then he's like, no, I actually have a great deal of respect for these people. It's like, oh, okay. You missed it.
Why? Because her personality is engaging. It gets me responding to her. No, I am a fan of Joy Reid. I think her takes are stupid. I think she's got horrible positions. I think she's wrong about everything. But I cannot sit here and be a phony, because then I would have Joy Reid derangement syndrome or Jerds.
Well, yeah, God forbid. I wouldn't want Jerds. But yes, that's why I watch it, because you're a fool. You're a dope, and I'm a fan of it. Yes, you nailed it. It doesn't mean I respect you necessarily. That seems a little drastic. But yes, to laugh at you, we are a fan of that. And that's why we watch so much. So he's so close. Like, he's growing an understanding of this, I think. I think he's getting there.
He's evolving right in front of us.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely won't take 10 steps back next week. There's no chance.
No, like he's grow the thumb. He just doesn't know how to use it yet. So he's like, it's there, but he just doesn't know how to grip anything yet.
Right.
To be able to admit when you're a fan of something, that's why you're so angry when you're typing all the time.
Damn it.
It's you holding back and tensing up because you can't admit you love the thing you love.
Who's angry? Who is angry? Who are these angry people? The angry aspect is Aaron in his head. And this is a thing I realized a long time ago as well. Where, like, yes, if you read every tweet or every comment on YouTube, if you read it like this, then they're all going to seem angry. Hey, Mike, hope you have a great day today. Oh, no. He's probably being sarcastic. This fucking asshole. Yeah, if you clench your teeth and read comments in that voice, they're all going to sound angry. No one's angry, man. And the people that are assholes that you shouldn't acknowledge. But, like, the people that make fun of you are kind of just having a good time, like you claim you're doing. It's weird that he's so close to connecting all these dots, where he's like, hey, I make fun of The View, but I'm a fan of it. I enjoy doing that. I'm not angry about it. They make fun of me. Shit, I can't quite work this analogy without saying they're not that bad of guys.
It's just a math problem missing one integer.
Yes.
It's just
one
integer off.
Yeah.
But that one integer changes the whole goddamn formula.
Yes, completely.
Perfect week is the next one.
Well, this is exciting. Unfortunately, we have no goal to follow this week because it was what we just heard was a man celebrating perfection.
The LOL makes me nervous. Ben with $15 over on PayPal. Hey, steel-toed derangement syndrome. You knew this was going to happen today anyway, but
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
By the way, Steel Toe's been killing it lately. We've been on an uptick big time. Year over year, we're up 190 people.
What a strange... Why is he giving, like, an earnings report on Steel Toe?
Right after the most random WWE clip because someone paid him money. Like, yes, that whole segment right there is very
What's your EBITDA, Aaron? What's your...
190 people at a time on our live streams. It's been fucking insane. Also kind of an own to the people who said, once the drama dies down, it's all going to go back to where it was. Sorry, kids. Sorry about that one.
Oh, man. He's owning all of us.
Mm-hmm. Nah. My STDs are flaring up on that one.
Oh, yes. It's important to remember you're living with the disease and not dying from it.
It's manageable, but you gotta think of it every day. A pill a day keeps the STD away.
But also, thank you very much. We haven't had to rattle the cans at all this. I think Monday morning was the only morning. Otherwise, you guys have just been throwing it in, no begging, no nothing. I can see why we've been triggering the steel-toed derangement syndrome this week.
It's weird. How have I had so many clips to play on a perfect week? It's crazy. This man has been perfection this week, and yet I've still found a way to make fun of him. It's wild.
The final one here.
I guess it's because I'm so angry.
It is. You're angry.
You probably hear it in my voice.
I hear congestion.
It is the snarl. That was it.
And I can't wait to hear this one. Final one. Woke dad moment.
Oh, well, this is I don't know. You guys tell me, because I'm riddled with STDs. I don't know if you've heard that joke before. But I've got STDs up to my eyeballs. So you guys tell me if this sounds legitimate to you or not.
My mom was telling me, she's like, your daughter made a very nice, she made very nice Valentine's Day cards for everyone. And she always does. She always makes really nice, like, little art projects and things like that for holidays and Father's Day and stuff like that. Hey, you know the pun she came up with? You're for Father's Day, you're the best dad by par. And it was a golf
sense of
thing
humor
that
runs
she
in the
did.
family.
You get it?
She called you average dad. You're par dad. Wow. She didn't say you're a birdie or an eagle dad or
It's a good point.
not a bogey dad, but you're not an eagle dad. Just saying.
You get the pun? Deep shit. So
deep
she
shit.
made,
Deep. Yeah, no, it took me a few hours to figure that one out.
Man, a Tool album would blow this fucker's mind if that's deep. My God. Deep shit.
She made cards. My mom said, she made Valentine's Day cards. She's very excited about them. And I said, what do you mean Valentine's Day cards? She said, well, she made one for you. She made one for, she doesn't say SP, but she said for SP. And
she made one for the girl you're fucking.
The caddy. We'll call her the caddy.
She made one for the slam piece that you're shoving your cock in. That's what my mommy said about
She
these
must be more
Valentine's.
than a slam piece if the kids have met her. So
That's it's wildly disrespectful, Electra.
No,
but we've moved past
Electra,
that.
we've learned that this man will bring anyone around his kids, and then put
That's true.
possible cocaine on their heads.
that's right. That
These
is true.
kids, for anyone that doesn't know, these kids, when April was brought into their lives, Aaron proposed to April by using the kids, who gave her a note that said,
No.
"Will you be our forever mommy?"
Oh, it's so gross.
Oh no, he didn't.
Right. What's wrong with that?
I might throw up right
Well,
now.
forever is like 3 or 4 years. That's not mission accomplished.
The note should have been, before I hit puberty, would you fuck my dad? And then
She agreed to be their forever mommy and served her 10-year. It's like presidential terms. She did 4 years, and then we elected a new mommy.
It's a SEAL service. She's a military.
So Aaron, there's a new regime, a new administration has taken office, and Aaron probably learned his lesson. He said, "Hey, that's a lot to put on kids, who, by the way, their real mother is alive and they spend most of their time with. So it's a lot to put on kids, making someone replace the mother that hasn't left their lives." But, April's old news. So let's see how they deal with. Oh, I forgot to add this part of the story. So Forever Mommy leaves. You might be thinking, was that 20, 30 years ago? No, less than a calendar year. It was last April, I believe, ironically.
April left in April?
Yes, I believe so, if I'm remembering correctly. So Forever Mommy leaves in April. Aaron meets this new slam piece, I don't know, days later, and already she is the new woman in their lives. But I'm sure they handle it in a very rational, calm, steady-handed manner.
Another person. And I was like, oh, that's very sweet. And my mom was like, she was kind of like voice cracking and whatever. And she goes, yeah, the one she made for...
Hold on.
Again, I'll say...
I didn't catch that the first time. Is the mother weeping over this?
Does she have AIDS?
The girls made a card for the young lady you're fucking. And my God, was it beautiful. It's another golf pun.
They put a bunch of condoms in it. Don't know why, Aaron.
Hey, you're the whole dad shooting in. A lovely card.
They don't want to split that toe fortune with any new babies.
Mom was like, she was kind of like voice cracking and whatever. And she goes, yeah, the one she made for, again, I'll say SP. My mom doesn't say SP, but she goes, the one she made for SP says something to the effect, I'm paraphrasing now. She said, thank you so much for making my dad happy again. And I was like, there's just some.
No, I want to explain something because Aaron is the kind of guy that if he hears this clip, he's going to say, look at them. They're laughing at a child. No, we're laughing at the father that clearly made this up. or you've damaged these kids so much that every woman they meet, they are putting the weight of motherhood on them.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for making my father. And by the way, his daughter's like 10 or something like that. My parents got divorced around the same age, and it obviously had an effect on me that I found out about later in therapy. But at the time, it wasn't so obvious to me that I, wrote in my journal, boy, Dad looks really bummed out today. I hope a woman can make him happy again. Like, you're not supposed to be having those thoughts at 10, 11 years old. But Aaron has put this on his kids so much. He made them feel it so heavily that they're like, boy, Dad's been a real fucking grouch. Thanks for making him not as angry all the time.
He made a little prison for the ladies out of his children. So if they escape, they have to run over the children to get out. That's essentially what he's done.
Hey, Dad let us see him being a depressed cunt for a while. Thanks for changing that.
You ever see the movie Dead Zone? Martin Sheen's character holding up the baby at the end. That's sort of what's going on here.
Raising now, she said, "Thank you so much for making my dad happy again."
Oh my God.
And I was like, there's some shit kids do that, like, you think of your kids and you just always think of them as just these little things just running around. You don't think of them as like growing, and you always have.
That's honest.
Hold on, I'm not a parent, but I imagine if I had kids, I could put myself in the situation of, well, these kids will be adults one day. I wouldn't be. These fucking things are running around. They probably don't have a thought rattling around in their heads.
You got to feed these things. Ugh.
Feed what? These empty vessels?
Yes.
Nah, they're probably fine. They're definitely not thinking about anything. They're definitely not seeing me in the fetal position, weeping about April, and internalizing that in any way. There's no chance of that happening.
Yeah, there's a poll waiting for one of Aaron's kids. That's for sure.
There's you know how usually you figure, they're just kids. I can bring them into a drug den and swing with another couple high on coke and Molly. That won't be a problem. And it turns out that actually has an impact on kids. When you come out of your fuck dungeon to make them SpaghettiOs, believe it or not, they notice things like that. Most people probably don't realize that, but me as a father, I'm able to understand that.
Can we interview these kids? That would be amazing.
Have this idea of your children as the little kids running around the house, So when you find out they do something, like really fucking adorable and kind of like evolved.
Oh my God, you're human beings. I thought of you as burdens that I had to bring to my sex parties. But you have thoughts and feelings.
They were my little burdens.
Oh, you've taught me so much. Like you have cognitive abilities.
Might be the greatest line you've ever fucking said.
See them, where you see them, it kind of hits you from out of nowhere, and it's very, very touching. And I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah, it definitely happened.
That's
it was
like
it will definitely not be painful when these kids are again left by another woman. You just set them up.
Meeting a new mommy every few years is not that big a deal. Luckily, both my parents met the first people I was introduced to that they dated. They've each been with for a quarter century now, like most of my life. So I don't know what it's like to have a parent with a rotating slew of of dates coming in and out. I imagine that is difficult. Compound that with this father saying, "This is your mommy now. This person is now the most important person in your life. Forget the old one. She's a pig drug addict. Don't even think of her name anymore. Fuck her."
Kids, it's up to you. Make this one happen. It's your responsibility.
You know, Ashley, my mother, other people, they're just like, yeah, they always, it's kind of gay. They'll be like, oh, I'm so proud of you. They're like, I've never seen the kids happier. And you're just like, God damn, that means, like, people can
That
say.
is gay of you. It's so gay of you to be a father. Oh, your kids care about you? Homo.
I was sitting there with my dying dad, and I'm like, I love you, Dad. And he goes, gay.
You fucking queer.
You know, like, oh, you've grown so much, or oh, you've done so much better. And you'll go like, yeah, whatever. But when
Shut up, you dumb
when they put it
bitches.
in
But when they make a golf pun about it, that's when it really hits home.
in the terms of your children, and then when they put it in the terms of like, what your children say about you and things like that, it just,
Dear Dad, we've forgotten that old sand trap that Nick Ricada took.
Kids say the darndest things, Mike.
it just weighs a little more. It just means a little more.
Well, that's it's inspiring the way Aaron has parented and raised his children. And I'm sure that all definitely happened. And it won't damage them at all. I'm sure it's all perfect. It seems like paradise.
That's the end of Aaron and Behold. We all have AIDS now. Congratulations.
I would say we should get to this Natalie Cuomo video, but I'm all fucking stuffed. You've heard my nasally voice long enough. It's interesting, but it's not that interesting. Natalie Cuomo's a nobody. You know what? Can we hear let's play the first couple minutes, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me grab the video here. So I didn't know the lady's name. I didn't know she was
former companion of Louis J. Gomez.
Oh,
Shane Gillis. Shane Gillis had a great line. Louis was dating Natalie Cuomo at Skankfest when they put on the roast of Louis J. Gomez, and Natalie was not on the dais, but Kim Congdon, Louis's ex-girlfriend, was. And Shane Gillis said, Natalie Cuomo is so unfunny that Louis had to book Kim to be here today.
Oh, that's harsh.
So Natalie, not necessarily known as a great comedian, but this might change a lot of things. We'll play just a little bit of this.
I actually want you guys to be better friends. So is our first time hanging out outside of the office?
Yeah, absolutely. As loud as you can go, sir.
What? Wow.
She's doing crowd work. The guy's giving her like lip. The guy is being kind of a dick. He's giving her like attitude back for some reason, which is an asshole way for a crowd member to interact. But for some reason, this crowd is so supportive of Natalie Cuomo, and she's delivering no jokes. It's really weird.
Can you give us, because you go to a lot of comedy clubs and stuff, what is the etiquette here? Because I've only been to one. They made fun of me. I didn't say anything. I just sat there and laughed. And
that's probably the etiquette. To be fair, I don't know what she's doing. He's like combative with her, but the video just starts there. So I don't know what she was doing exactly that made this guy feel like he had to respond. But yeah, usually the etiquette is yes or no questions to whatever they're asking, basically. As short of answers as possible, and then just laugh along. And if you're offended to the point where you want to say something, just get up and leave. But
gotcha. So you've never yelled out anything to a comedian or added to a joke or tagged it?
Oh, I have.
Oh, Electra. Of course you have.
Oh my god, I love it! Okay, wait, what made you want to ask him? Huh?
Why are you making it sound like we're a couple?
Oh my god, don't get scared.
It's not my material.
What? Oh, it's not that. Wow, it's not that. Wow, look at you.
Yeah.
I could leave right now if
Well,
I
can
wanted.
roast you too. You can't just roast all of us and get nothing.
I'd correct the audience, but yes, you can. Like, she is allowed to roast all of you and you not respond. That is her job, actually.
Where's your microphone, man? None.
This is probably a guy. Like, I'm sure he has a Reddit account. He probably like hates female comics, and he wanted to expose the fact that she has no material. And he's correct, but he's also being a dick about it. Like, both things are possible.
Yes. Is that allowed?
I see. So you were afraid because you felt like I was saying you're gay.
I can take the mic if you want.
It's okay. He's your new friend. Yeah, I have plenty of material, but it's embarrassing for you.
She has nothing. I have plenty of material, but I'm not going to use it.
Yeah,
and for some reason, the crowd is like, yes, Natalie, get him. This is the most supportive crowd I've ever heard.
How can you do crowd work without any comebacks? I'm very confused.
It is interesting because I've seen some of her crowd work clips, and even for the nice people, she doesn't really have a comeback. It's a lot of like, are you two a couple? How long have you been together? 4 years? Wow, it's a long time.
This bitch is gonna make me like Matt Rife. No, stop it.
Matt Rife dunks on her as far as I'm not even joking. Yeah.
Let's move on. Small dick energy. Let's clap for him.
Feels like DEI comedy. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone's sort of.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say this, like, it is such a hard time in this world right now. There's so many people that came together to be supportive and fucking amazing, and you're putting negative. No, fucking look me in the eyes. You're putting negative.
This is a comedy show.
What's going on?
Wow, she's berating him. Lovely.
This is a teacher who has had enough. Like the kids have been misbehaving all day, and I'm taking it out on you.
That was a comedy show. Well, she got down on her knees and looked me right in the eye.
Fuck you. That's her big comedic comeback.
This is the last show of my fucking. Look me in the fucking eye. This is the last show of my fucking weekend. It's a sold out show, and you want to say mean shit.
You know what it feels like? This video feels like if I sent you the video of Natalie Cuomo having a meltdown on stage, and I would be like, oh, why did HACKRIDE add applause to this? It makes it exactly. But like, why is there applause? It feels like it doesn't add up. It feels like something you did as a joke. Does that make sense? Where like, it's not meeting, the applause is not meeting what she's saying. Where she's like, fuck you. This is my last show. You don't get to talk to me like that. And a comedy audience is going, "Attaway, girl." That's how you handle comedy.
Gringo Poppy should have really had this energy. Would have been an entirely different thing.
No, that would have been fun.
Yes.
Okay? So don't fucking do that.
Oh, yeah. Weirdest reaction.
I think it's mostly alcohol-related reaction.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They must have
I guess, or
strong
just the
drinks.
most supportive crowd of simps trying to fuck her. That like,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what the reason is. Maybe because they are drunk. And I will say, like, the natural reaction when a comedian is handling a heckler is to be like, fuck the heckler and just cheer for the comic. But it just and we don't know what happened before this. They started filming, but it just seems like the most bizarre reaction for a comic to go, fuck you. And so that's all. I don't want to play too much of that. Too Lazy to Try, great YouTube channel, did a good breakdown of this. I don't even know if they knew her name because they never say Natalie Cuomo. You just saw it as like some lady melting down on Instagram. But go watch it. It's a 7.5-minute video, so we don't have to play the whole thing. But boy, she does not handle it well. So
no, is she related to the Cuomos? Is that
I don't think
thing?
so. I don't think so, but I'm not sure.
Hey, Mike, I've never thought about trying stand-up comedy, but if I ever do, this is the crowd I want. It's
yes, absolutely. Yeah, I hope they enjoy Quincy.
Yeah. You remember that guy you used to cover that would film the comedy in his basement and have the crowd laugh?
Yes, Pete
It's pretty
Gurgio.
much Pete
Yeah,
Gurgio.
that's
This is
right.
Pete Gurgio's crowd. Thank you.
Pete Gurgio would be a lot less afraid to leave the house if he had this audience.
Yes. All right, Mike. We have a few super chats and we'll get out of here. And we got a Catch 22 coming up on our channel. And then we got the Super Bowl, baby.
Sure.
So, all right. Go ahead, Electra.
Coach Tim Bullinger, $4.99. Joke's on you guys. I'm going to get the whole collection of Aaron autograph merch. One day, my grandkids will be able to buy a spaceship with the money.
Oh, you have the full set. You have the shirt, the hoodie, and the mug.
Yeah, he's
The
going
thing
to get
is-
it.
If you buy it all, you set the price for the market, Mike. It's like having all the Bitcoin. It's yours
That's a
world
good
to
point.
rule.
That's a good point. Yes, you could be the Michael Saylor of steel toe merch.
micro toe strategies.
Michael Redden for $5. Mike Tirico uses everybody just like Big J.
Mike Tirico uses every. Oh,
Everybody.
I
He
see.
says
I'm
everybody,
sorry.
yeah.
Oh, Mike Tirico says everybody. Really? That's amazing because Tirico's like a polished broadcaster. I'll have to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to count that too. I like Tirico.
Dang Lizard, €2. Shake them titties, blind boy. Aaron causes STDs.
True. It's true. And
Why do you
our
guys
final
make
one-
fun of me in my chat?
Oh. Hamilton Burger for $5. April's Forever Mommy tour of duty ended in dishonorable discharge.
That's right, yeah.
She went AWOL, to be honest.
That's true, yeah.
All right, Blind Mike. That's the Blind Mike project for today, everyone.
Well, what's next? Can you tell the people?
Oh, yes. Catch 22, the great show with DJ Electra and myself, is up next. And coming up right after this, looking for the ad. There it is. So right after this show, we're probably going to take 10 minutes to poop and eat, and then we'll be back. So thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
guys, Electra's going to be shitting. Just imagine that.
No, actually not going to happen. I think so, for thinking about me.
Go watch Catch 22 right after this. Support HackRideTheDemon.com. Is that still it?
That's still the thing. Yep, still the thing.
And follow Electra on YouTube. Are you still posting regularly on YouTube?
I am.
Right, go check Electra Fry out on YouTube.
About to
support
these. Pass me in subs, Mike. I'm about to get fired.
Support the people that support this show, for God's sake, and make it go. We wouldn't have a show without them and Craig, so go support them. Craig at verygoodshow.org. Now that I've gotten all that out of the way, most importantly, obviously, go to blindmike.net and support this program as well. If you're watching live on YouTube or watching later on YouTube, smash the like button. Comment, subscribe, all that helps the algorithm. We appreciate you guys that watch live and comment and all that. Helps more people find the show. Go watch Why You Laughing. We just did Jerry Seinfeld's I'm Telling You for the Last Time. And up for members now, you have the history of Married with Children. If you want to go check that episode out before anyone else gets it, that'll be up this week for the rest of you. So check out Why You Laughing. Check out Who Are These Socials that I do with Carl. The show I just did on the Kirk Minahan Show Network. Check out all that stuff. Support everybody. We appreciate you. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Go Birds!
Yep. Remember, bettors put it in. Blind Mike has picked the Eagles. You got to make some money today, people. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Peace.
Blind Mike Geary!
Talk like this, it's silly. This is my punchline as a boy. I think it's really rad. I want to come. I'm gonna smoke crack. Grooming is not technically illegal, right? Asking for a friend. Go to small towns to get a gummy blowjob. Oh, that dirty dog. My penis is regular. Shut up. What's on my mind? Porn?